Doggone it, I am not live on YouTube. I've been sitting here talking to you YouTubers, having a good time, and then wasn't even freaking live. Like, what in the world? Such amateur hour in here. Dadgummit. Amateur hour. It's amateur. I apologize. I didn't hit the button. I was in such a scramble, such a hurry. I did everything except for hit the go live button. So, can y'all see me now? Am I there now? Must be. It's always some technical difficulty, man. I'm always screwing something up. It's amateur. Like I said, it's amateur hour. We leave all the hard stuff for professionals. Basil Hayden toast. These lights are just Philips Hue behind the bottle. All right, we're live now on YouTube. I apologize about the confusion. Again, we're trying to improve this setup. So YouTube didn't even see the intro. I'm gonna roll. I should roll the intro. I don't want to roll the intro. We did a cool intro. Shred edited it. Looked great. And then y'all didn't even. I clicked the button. It just didn't go live. I don't know. Ads finally popped up. So the ads pop up once I go live? That's kind of crazy. Will wants to say roll the intro. Just have a drink and forget about it. That's probably the right freaking thing to do, man. Just have a freaking drink and forget about it. Of course, I have no idea. Like TikTok over here, TikTok's got to get the game going here. I keep trying all sorts of different things, but TikTok's got to get their game going on the live streaming setup because I can't see much of nothing over here. I can see the chat, but I can't see how many people are in there. I can't see much of nothing. So I apologize if the TikTok experience is less than stellar. Looks like we got about 120 folks. When I use the big camera, they don't really promote it too well. So y'all want to see the intro? Chris Hamill, what's going on? I called everybody's freaking name out while y'all were over here, but I'm sorry. Favorite cognac, y'all want to see the intro? Here you go. Let's roll the intro. I got to get my thing over there. My name is TJ Gamble, and this is Brewzle. But what does it actually take to get one of these in the state of Alabama?
It's all told we spent about $400, but this is what we got.
That's a good whiskey. There's a lot going on there. There's the intro. So it's nice and short, not too bad, but it gives me like 15 seconds to check on everything, like the fact that it's working on YouTube. So apparently 15 seconds wasn't quite long enough. The night, wow, the night has been crazy. It's been, I need a drink. I'm gonna be honest with you. I need a drink. I had like 4 minutes to go to the restroom, run upstairs, come back, watch some Glencairns, try to go live, and then I just forgot to go live on YouTube like an idiot. And then they're just having conversations. I think they're responding to me the whole freaking time. God almighty knows. I don't drink a lot of scotch, John. I mean, some of it's good, but I don't drink a lot. I haven't tried Flatboat. Yeah, let's, which one do y'all want to try? Which one do y'all want to try first? Let me know. I got TX here, which a lot of folks have asked for, and again, I can't see the TikTok framing. I need to set up my iPad or something. Here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of sit my phone over here so I can see the framing, so I can see what y'all can see. So like this stuff here. I've got a TX, I've got a Evan Williams 11 year, and I've got Puncher's Chance. So y'all let me know which one of those we should start with. We're going to try them all. Just let me know which ones to start with. How many I don't really limit it user. I just go by feel. We try to do more talking, less drinking. We're working on that. We're getting better at it. Reno, Nevada. I'm hoping to pick up some Frey Ranch. I'm out in Vegas next week, so. Evan, 11 year. Everybody's asking for the Evan. Puncher's over here. TX. Favorite bourbon under $30 that you can get regularly, that you can just go in anywhere and get. Wild Turkey 101. Evan Williams is good. Ooh, this is a split decision. Like TikTok really wants TX. I'll tell you what, it looks like Evan. I got more votes between the two chats. We'll go Evan first, then we'll do TX second, and then we'll break out the Puncher's Chance. Now, if you're over on YouTube, we got a little thing we're gonna do, and I don't. If this is not fun, then we won't do it. Like if y'all don't like it, we won't do it. But if we get $100 in super chats throughout the course of the live stream over on YouTube, we're gonna make a Coy Hill and Dr. Pepper Zero at the end of the stream. So if that's something that's fun, I'm just trying to figure out games or things to make it more entertaining. So if we get to $100, I'm gonna make a Coy Hill and Dr. Pepper Zero. YouTube wins. Yeah, well, there's a little more active. I think maybe there's a bigger delay on TikTok, honestly. They may just be a little behind. Snagged a case of E.H. Taylor single barrel. A whole case? Jesus. Let's hear this cork pop. That's pretty good cork pop right there. What does she say here? What does she say? Let's get some air on her. I can't read that little bitty stuff. Why don't they need I need picture books. I need picture books. And then I have to take my framing away from TikTok to be able to see it. So never mind on the reading. Never mind. In the back of the bottle, y'all see this right here. This stuff has, it has tiny little fonts back there. Like, you can't see crap on this thing. So, and y'all have got all the light coming this way. Over here, it's dark and small. So, nothing I can do about that. But it's a good looking bottle. I'm going to go back to the store and pick up more of these, I think, if this one turns out to be good. The new scoring is great, Ralph. Thank you. I appreciate that. We put a lot of thought into it, and we're going to continue to evolve that. We've got $5 right there from Channel JZ. You see the lights flicker when the super chats come in, and we're going to try to do something similar on TikTok. They just don't give us the ability. Do a blind. John, we might get to a blind here in just a little bit. Might get to a blind. Go by proof. That's actually, but then it'd be lower or above. I do believe TikTok's a little bit behind. I think maybe we've got a little more of a delay over there. This is the 2011. So technically this is a 2021, or was it 2019 release, I think? Because it's like 7-8 years old. Yeah, it was bottled in 2019. So this one is 8-year-old Evan Williams single barrel. Best Evan Williams you've tried? Need one of that vintage? Well, Kyle, let me know. Mike, are we still waiting on what? What are we waiting on, Mike? Is Mike behind? Somebody let Mike know he's behind if he thinks I haven't gone live. He might be starting at the beginning. Thank you, Will Prees. I appreciate it. So sad that, yeah, well, they didn't discontinue it. I think it's like a Tennessee only, Kentucky only, something like that. I paid about $35 for these. I found a case of them at a small liquor store that they were just sitting in the corner unopened. And so I bought a couple of them, and honestly, I'm going to try them. I'm going to go back tomorrow and pick up some more if they're good. And it's pretty good. It's not earth-shattering. It's got a good nose on it. The proof is letting it down to me because, like I said, my favorite proof is 100 plus, 100 to 107. And this one's 86.6 proof, which makes it really easy to drink, but it just loses a lot of what I love about this bottle. And so if this were, I really do think if this were 100 proof, it would really stand a chance of blowing Evan Williams Bonded out of the freaking water. But that proof down, there's no real mouthfeel, there's no thickness, viscosity to it. The flavors are not overly complex, but it's extremely pleasant. So if you're just looking for something simple, if you're going to be pouring it over ice, or you're not really looking for something that's like overly complex, just a great cheap pour, this is actually a really nice bottle for that. Not a huge fan of Joseph Magnus other than the cigar blend. So Kentucky only release, there you go. Distillery only? Are you sure about that, Chris? I think it might be just that state. I'm not 100% sure of that, but that's what I heard, that it was just Kentucky, right? So I could be wrong. Will wants, okay. All right, Will. What's going on, Brian? Do I get a lot of viewers? Yeah, you hate that platform. We do get a lot more viewers on TikTok than YouTube typically. Although right now we're unintentionally limiting that. So what we've done is we're starting to use TikTok's new streaming studio, which allows us to go live in high definition like this with the big microphone and all the fancy stuff. And I can change cameras and zoom in and do all the production stuff and have fancy intros and all that stuff. Which we're going to start building out after next week. I'm not streaming next week. After that, we're going to start building out games and graphics and all sorts of fun things. So that allows us to do that. But TikTok has a bug to where they don't promote it to as many people when you use that feature. So I really think it's like only subscribers or a really small number of the subscribers. So it's much more intimate, but we get a lot less trolls too. So there's kind of a benefit and a downside. But I don't know how many are on YouTube right now, but we've got, what have we got? 135 or so over on TikTok. And normally we'll have, anywhere from 400 to 1,500 over on TikTok at a time. Evan Williams Singleberry, yeah, it's a good bottle. How balanced Elijah Craig is for $24. That's a good whiskey. Yeah, $24. That's a really good one. It's in Tennessee too. Okay, so maybe Kentucky, Tennessee. Just limited it. Bourbon lover, Jason, how you doing, man? Jason, I'm gonna ping you tomorrow. I need all of the hot spots I need to go in Vegas. I'm gonna film a video hunting bourbon in Vegas. So, is there an Evan Green label? I don't have an Evan Green label. There might be one. Watching YouTube on back porch and there on your phone. I.W. Harper 15, nice. 2014 vintage earlier this year in North Carolina and ran into the 2013 vintage in Georgia. And I don't know how many vintages there are of this thing. Like, this is the first bottle I've ever bought, so I'm not even really sure. Idaho pulled them all because it's distillery only. I got you. Okay. Some folks say they can get it in Kentucky and Tennessee. So doesn't matter to me if that's accurate. I can't get them around here anymore, and I just found this dusty case in a corner at a small liquor store. Jim Beam Vanilla and Dr. Pepper, nice. 81, 82 on YouTube, nice. We had 140, 130, I think 135 the last one, 144 the one before, so we're growing that YouTube stream. But we got to work on retention. We got to have some fun things to keep people watching for longer. You're at the Vegas house next week. Well, my schedule's getting kind of crazy, but let's find some time. I'll ping you tomorrow. We'll talk about what my schedule looks like right now. Thank you, Malsey, if I pronounced that right. Best whiskey sold in all states. We had talked about doing that. We did the Alabama one, but we haven't gone through all of them yet. Thank you, Dustin. Did we cross over 72K? I knew we were mighty close. So at the pace we're going, we'll have 100,000 by the end of the year on YouTube, and that never would have believed that. Never would have believed that. Not this fast. Crown Royal Peach. Yeah, I've got Crown Royal Peach. Sure. Haven't had Angel's Envy Rye. Astros and some good bourbon. Nice. Well, I hope they win for you. I haven't been to the Bowman Distillery, but they make some really good whiskey. So I'm sure that'll be, all the distilleries have pretty good shows, right? If you're into bourbon making, they're all going to be fun. Yeah, Auburn Battles, man. I don't know who you were, which one in line you were, but it was a good time. I enjoyed everybody except for that one asshole. We know who we're talking about. We don't have to bring him up. Vista Beverage House has it, also in South Carolina. Interesting. No, I don't have a connection. I don't have a connection at all. Like, I wait in line. Like, you just heard Auburn Battles say, I was in line this week. I needed a bottle of Weller Antique 107. I went and waited in line for, 4 or 5 hours for it. Now, you're just hanging out with bourbon folks, having a good time, filming a video that'll come out in a couple of weeks. But I don't have a hookup. I do have friends that help me from time to time find stuff, sure. But I don't, oh, you're at the house this week? I got you. Dang, it just sucks. We're going to fly to Vegas. We fly to Vegas Sunday evening, so... Best budget whiskey, Evan Williams Bottle and Bond. I need a VP of Shenanigans. I probably do, Glenn. I don't know what that is, but Alex, you missed all sorts of things last week. You can get this in Kansas. Douglas, cheers. Yeah, well, okay, so Will's talking about over there. We're trying to come up with ideas for hunting in Vegas. I really just thought going around to different stores, showing the hunt, whatever we get, Vegas bottle haul. Will's tossing around ideas of each of us having a budget and seeing who can get the best bottles for that budget. But then how do you judge that? I don't know. From Germany, Jewel, thank you. Lagavulin 16. The band hammer without all the trolls. Well, maybe we'll get some trolls in here. I don't know. I'm going to get a Penelope toasted here pretty soon. Goofy, the day was pretty good. Had a lot of success at work, a lot of progress, and closed a new client. I heard from Brown Foreman that we might actually be landing them as a client here pretty soon. So that was all good until I tried to set up the live stream and it all went to hell and back. So that was a little stressful. So if I just go dark, if the camera just shuts off, you'll know this machine just randomly rebooted for the 5th time today. I haven't tried Thomas More. I don't do a lot of like wine finish stuff, and so those haven't really appealed to me, especially at the price point. Maker's BRT. I still need those. I really like the FAE series, and I just haven't found the BRTs yet. Lucky number 17. Yeah, pump those likes for me if y'all would, and if you're not following, you're not subscribed over on YouTube, please do so. That would really help me out. I would appreciate it. Buy 1 Blanton's at retail today. Nice. Pipe Dream? I haven't seen that at all, Steve. I didn't even know that was a thing until you just mentioned it. Common whiskey? Like a brand Common? I don't know it. Mikey from Jersey. Thanks for hanging out. Castle and Key. I've only had the Restoration Rye, and it was a store pick. Really, really rye forward, which is not what I'm looking for in a rye. I don't want something that's like way over rye. Christmas gift suggestion for somebody who's hooked on Angel's Envy. So Angel's Envy's port finished and it's low proof. So I would go find probably a bottle of Bowman Brothers port finish if you can. I don't know if is it Bowman Brothers port finish or Abraham Bowman or one of the Bowmans. It's Bowman port finish. It comes in like a little horseshoe shaped bottle. I have a bottle similar. It's not the same bottle, but let me grab it so you kind of see what it looks like. And it's not super easy to find, but depending on where you are, it's going to look kind of like Super Chat, Mike, with the $20. We are 25% of the way to having to do a freaking Coy Hill and Dr. Pepper. So we're 25% of the way. Mike, with no message whatsoever, just throwing down the money. Look at him. I appreciate it, Mike. Thanks for the support. This support really helps. We're spending just a ton. So that's kind of what the bottle looks like. So it'll just say port finish on it, and grab that. That's going to be similar, but a little better to me. So a little better. Where's the Coy Hill? Coy Hill is going to be right here. That's her right there. Coy Hill. 142 proof. This bottle is what now? $800 on secondary market, $600, $700, $800. And we are going to mix that sucker with Dr. Pepper if we get to $100 on YouTube. Isaac A. Bowman port finish. Okay, I knew it was one of them. There's so many different names. I don't know the difference in those Bowmans. Yeah, again, the chat's moving kind of fast. If I miss your question, don't hesitate to ask it again. I'll try to get to all of them. Let me make sure I don't have any. Sometimes TikTok filters things, and so if your questions aren't going through, just be careful with your wording, because I got a lot of folks get mad at me like, why are you ignoring me? And I'm just like, I scroll back, you don't even have a comment in here. So, haven't had Crown Rye, no. The only Orphan Barrel I've had is Fable and Folly, and I didn't think I would like it at that low proof, but I freaking love it. It's fantastic. Can you explain the flavor difference in a bourbon and a rye? So it depends, right? Rye has a very kind of spiciness to it, and so almost like a grassy note if it's extremely strong rye. And bourbon has various flavors. Sometimes they're cinnamon forward. Sometimes they're kind of red fruit forward. And so bourbon can have various flavors, and so can rye. Like some of these ryes the ryes I like are typically very bourbon-esque ryes, right? They're going to have a lot of bourbon flavor with just a little bit of that kind of rye spiciness. And if you try rye, try a Sazerac rye, right? You can usually get those. They're not super expensive, made by Buffalo Trace. That's very rye to me. And so try that, and then try like a Michter's rye that's very bourbon-esque, kind of caramel. John is our first channel member over here on YouTube. We just got channel members set up like yesterday, I think, and our first channel member. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. All right, let me catch up. Just did a barrel pick from Middle West Spirits in Columbus. Delicious. We're doing our first barrel pick right now. I just agreed to do it. So in about 3 weeks, I'm going to go to Louisville with some of our patrons or our channel members. So John, make sure you're in the Discord. And then we're going to add you to a special channel. Will in the chat here will add you to a special channel for our supporters. And we're going to pick 4 supporters to go with me to Louisville that can make it on the day that we're going to try to go to pick that barrel. And then we'll have it sometime in January to actually to get it out. Haven't had the salted caramel crown. Scored a Booker's Uncut Unfiltered. It's going to be completely different. So Booker's Uncut, Booker's is really, really intense. More peanut, earthy forward. That Larceny is wheated. It's going to be very sweet caramel forward. The B522 is very caramel forward. So those are completely different animals for sure. My favorites are like wheated bourbons, like Weller stuff. William LaRue Weller, and then Weller Antique 107 is my regular drinker. We felt good Tuesday morning. No problems at all. We handled it pretty well. We're professionals, Ward Dan Steve. Almost said Ward Man. I can't read. The TikTok chat's smaller than I would like today, but I can't fix it without screwing some stuff up, or at least risking screwing some stuff up. So I haven't done the mellow corn yet. I'm going to do that, though. I'm going to do that. It's on my list, but I went hunting for it, and literally, I don't think they sell it in Alabama, so I'm going to have to pick it up. The audio on YouTube is exactly the same as what's on TikTok. So TikTok may be compressing it in some way, but you are getting, I'm pretty sure, actually you have to be, you were getting the exact same audio feed the way this is set up. Now the way we were set up in the last stream, you might have could have got different ones. But right here, I'm giving it the exact same output, and it's just a matter of what TikTok does to it versus what YouTube does to it. Jack Daniel's unaged rye? Oh no, like they're like a white dog rye? I have not. That would be I would love to though. That would be interesting. I love white dogs. I don't drink them a lot, but they're just kind of fun to play with. I haven't tried it yet. We're gonna finish this one, then we're gonna do the TX. Let me finish this guy right here. So overall, this is a good whiskey. It's not exceptional to me. This is not something that I find really complex. The proof is too low for what I'm looking for in a sipping whiskey. But it goes down really easy. It's got some nice flavors to it. So not a bad whiskey, but I would not go back and buy more bottles of this. I'm just not going to do it because I've got enough good sipping whiskeys. Let's move on to this TX here. Let me catch up. I'm a little behind. Best $10 you can spend is mellow corn. What's the Jack bottle? This is Jack Daniel's Coy Hill. So this is their limited release from 2021. Really hard to find. I've seen these at like $800-ish on the secondary market. And if we get to $100 in super chats, we're at 25 bucks already. I'm gonna mix this with Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper Zero to be more specific. Yeah, I've tried a lot of Penelope. Good stuff. 10 cups fine. I don't have any right now. I'm out of Woodford Double Oak too, but I love Woodford Double Oak. We're going to buy it from Barrel Craft Spirits. Their facility is close to the public, so they're just going to rent a venue. It's not going to be in the distillery. That was what I was hoping for, but it's not going to be in the distillery. But they're going to provide lunch and rent a venue, and we're going to take 5 of us up there, and they're going to give us like 8 different barrels to try, I think, and then we pick one of those. So just the option of going gives us a lot more barrels to choose from, whereas if they mail me a sample, I would then have to mail those samples out. We would have a week to choose our barrel, but we only get 3 samples. So going there, I can get 8 and we can try it out. Your mama, white or dark spirit? I prefer bourbons, which are dark. So nice, smooth, sweet, easy beginner whiskey. That video I think is dropping Friday. I believe that's the Friday video where we're doing the 5 beginner whiskeys. So smooth, sweet, easy, Buffalo Trace. 1975 Weller Gold Lace, never opened. Are you wanting to gift this to me? Is this what what kind of begging do I have to do for that bottle? This will be the first TX whiskey I have ever had. First one I've ever had. Where's Mr. Salty going to be over here? I saw him on YouTube, said he's going to be there. Nearly 500, yeah, and I've seen it for as much as 8 lately. And 500 is probably what you can reasonably get them for. I know I'm fumbling my words. I'm not drunk yet. Let's not go there. Luckily, we don't have the trolls here. Literally had one weak ass pour. I drank a little of the Maker's 46. I didn't love it. It's not bad, but I didn't love it. How a brand should reach out if they want to work with you, just send me an email, support@brewzle.com. You can, I've got my P.O. box. I've added it back into TikTok. Send me a DM, like however you want to reach out. I'm happy to talk. We've got to try to find some sponsorships, right? Like we're going hard. We're putting out a ton of content, but that takes a whole team. Like it's not me. I got a full-time job, more than a full-time job, and house projects and car projects and a lot of stuff to do. So we've got, folks like Will over here in the chat that work for me full-time, doing some other stuff, but helping out with this. And then I've got an editor and stuff. So we're at that point. We're at that point where people love sending me free stuff. They'll send me anything I want, just about. Not whiskey, but they will send whiskey, but I can't just get anything I want. But you want ice ball molds and all the auxiliary stuff, but nobody really wants to pay. So we gotta figure that. We gotta crack that nut for sure, because these videos cost money, so advertising can't be free. But if you want to work with me, that'd be fun, man. I'm always looking for fun brands. And honestly, if you got some product that's just really, really interesting, I'm not saying I won't do a free video, but if you're sending me bourbon infused coffee, we're probably going to have to just skip that one. Hopefully, yeah, exactly, Ward. Ward M. Steve. I'm gonna try to make a bunch of stops while I'm up there. Texas is in the house. Woodford Double Oaked, and now it's my absolute favorite. There you go. Hopefully, we try to make good recommendations, but you never can tell. How do you become a channel member? There should be just a button on the stream to become a channel member right there. Had to go through 2 commercials. Hey, that helps. That helps a little bit. Watching those commercials, we're gonna make a few dollars off of that. The barrel is not for the Lincoln. We have found in the state of Alabama that it is a felony, punishable by a minimum of 1 year in prison to carry more than 5 gallons of alcohol in your car. And technically that's in dry counties, not wet counties, but it's really, really ambiguous as to how they enforce that. And if I just happen to go across the wrong county lines. So I can't risk that. So Old Forester 100 is I would say the 86 is a better beginner bottle than the Old Forester 100, just because the proof's a little lower. It's a little easier on the palates. All right, now again, I'm trying to catch up. I apologize if I missed your comment. Just hit me again on it. What's up from Texas? Don't like bourbons? Any bourbons at all? What are you into then, Chander? Mighty. I'm just gonna call you Mighty. Do you like Chestnut Farm small batch? It's been a while since I've had that. Actually, you know what? I'm thinking Calumet. I haven't had Chestnut Farms. Ezra Brooks 99. Ezra Brooks is pretty good stuff. Some folks like it, some folks don't though. Yeah, that GTS is gonna be high, man. If you can get your hands on one, it's gonna shoot up in value. Do a video trying Scotch, Lance. We're gonna do that. That's on our list for sure. For sure. Over 100 bottles in my collection. Have tried maybe 40 of them. Well, which ones did you like? I'm not a hater of collectors. You collecting, that's cool. You got 60 bottles. Honestly, I wished I hadn't opened some of these, because some of these are worth more than I value them at, for sure. I'm not here every night, Mad Barbecue. I appreciate you coming to troll me just a little bit. I was feeling a little left out without any good trolls. But I'm just here Mondays and Wednesdays. But you're here every night watching, and that may be a problem. Redbreast, haven't had it. Black Velvet Apple, haven't heard of that. HTTP, Dylan with 2 Y's. Send in the roses. I appreciate it. Love it, my friend. I didn't even taste it, I don't think. I've just been talking. Like I said, more talking, less drinking. That's the goal. There is a difference between bourbon and whiskey. Bourbon is a subset of whiskey in the United States. You spell it with an H and oftentimes an E, not all the time, but some folks use E, some folks don't. Overseas, it's a whole different thing. If you're in Europe, they got their whole different definitions. Don't give me any grief about that. I don't know what they are. I'm not in Europe. I don't really care. Here, bourbon is just a subset of whiskey, a more specific set, right? It has to be, made in the U.S. It has to be 51% corn. It has to be aged for a couple of years in a new American oak barrel. No, Justice, I didn't win a spot in the Alabama lottery. I'm not lucky like that. The Castle and Key Rye is extremely rye forward, John Malone. So if you want it, now mine's a store pick, so it might be a little off profile, but it is very, very rye. So you better like that rye flavor because it's going to be, but if you like rye flavor, it's got a ton of it. We got a video on Long Branch. Check that out. Didn't love it at the price. Not a bad whiskey. Didn't love it at the price. John says ETH, I'm assuming E.H. Taylor small batch is your favorite. That's awesome. Nate's a Scott. Nate drinks everything. And I'm not saying all at once, but Nate is a very well-rounded individual, right? He is very cultured. Me, on the other hand, I've just been locked up in Alabama my whole life, and this Scotch thing, I don't know about. Rebecca Creek, haven't had it. 51% corn to be called bourbon. Yeah. Haven't had Lone Whiskers. Favorite bourbon mixed drink's always an old fashioned. We haven't done any High West. I've had some High West, but we haven't reviewed it. My favorite that I've had from them is probably their Rye, but it's been a while since I've had that. I thought that was a really nice balance of bourbon and rye. Is there a TX whiskey and a TX bourbon? I don't know. I don't think they're asking about TX whiskey versus bourbon. It's just a question in general, right? So this is Texas straight bourbon whiskey, which means what? It's been aged 3 years minimum to be straight bourbon whiskey. It's got a nice color to it. It's a pleasant nose, although not overwhelmingly good. I would say, to me, this is better than the Evans single barrel. You can tell the extra, well, you say the extra age, that's like freaking 8 years, but this has an oakiness. Must be a proof difference. Although the proof's only 90. This drinks like a higher proof than 90 to me. This feels warmer. If I had a guessed, I would have said it was at least in the high 90s, 96 to 100. And you've got a little bit of kind of that Texas whiskey flavor, right? A little bit of that kind of leathery tobacco flavor, especially on the finish. It's got a little better mouthfeel, a little better thickness than that Evan Williams. Overall, a little more enjoyable unless you're turned off by that kind of leathery, and some people are. Some people don't like that leathery kind of tobacco flavors, but it's really subtle on this one. So overall, I think that's a pretty good whiskey. Again, not something I'm just going to be like, singing the praises of and saying this is one of my favorites. It's not going to make any of my best of lists or anything like that, but this is a fine sipper right here. Chuck D with the $5 super chat. Gas from Maggie. So what are we at? We are at $30 to do. Let's see if I can. I'm going to try to show the. Here we go. We're trying to. Right there. Chuck D. I can show the super chat. At least YouTube can see it. It'll get. It didn't work. Wonderful. I was trying to show it on screen, but it did not work. So I'm not going to change anything because it was all broken. But I appreciate it, Chuck D. A gallon of gas from Maggie. Thank you. Maggie is much appreciated. Took her out in the rain yesterday for the first time, and she held up well. It's all sealed up real good. There's a blended whiskey and a bourbon, exactly. Midwinter Night's Dram. I've got Midwinter Night's Dram, but I'm not like a wine-finished whiskey guy. And that is very much wine-finished whiskey, a blend of them. And so I like it, I just don't love it, right? Oh, yeah, I like Booker's too. Now, JW, it took a while for it to grow on me, but I like it as well. Mountain Jack, haven't had that. Basic bourbon taste for TX. They look great in line. Favorite bourbon, William LaRue Weller. 17, I don't think I have the small batch behind me. I think it's a single barrel, a full proof, and a 12-year. I think they're pretty good, but again, something that not a flavor profile I go back to a lot. But I'm hearing like they're all over the place. I hear a lot of people love them, a lot of people hate them. I don't know. Most of mine are store picks, so I'm wondering if mine are a little off profile. Miss Monday sipping on some Four Roses single barrel. Nice. What do you think about that, Joe? That's one I recommend. That's one's going to be in the video on Friday. I haven't had the Yellowstone 21 or 22, John. I would say at MSRP it's probably worth the price based on the 20. Like the 20 has done really well in my blinds. The Old Tub, not my favorite. So if I wanted like a Jim Beam at 100 plus proof, I'm going to go with Baker 7. I think Baker 7 is far superior to the Old Tub. But again, my opinion. We're at $35. I just see John come in with the $5 super chat. Are you seeing his super chat ahead of mine? I thought we had a 20. We had a 20 and a 5. You must see the other 5 before I do. It must be out of order for me. So John with the $5 super chat. Awesome. Thank you. Love that bottle. Second Buffalo Trace. I haven't tried Firestone and Robertson. Jefferson's Ocean, it depends on the voyage. Some voyages are really good. Some voyages are not good at all. Voyage 22, the wheated one, has been really, really good for me, but I haven't tried them all. But the one I've had, the 22, has been really good. 17, didn't like it at all. Love it in Canada. Nice. Again, my absolute favorite is William LaRue Weller. Yellowstone's not super easy to find around here, and they're limited edition, which again is a wine finish, I think, or a cognac finish. I don't know about 21 and 22. I think the one I have is cognac finish. We need a mood. Well, so we'll. I'm going to be able to build a meter that will do the countdown today. I was actually going to build that today before my entire live streaming rig just fell apart, and it took me like 2 hours just to get it back together. Like that's what I was in here doing, adding the intro and building the meter, and it turned out adding the intro and just trying to get a stream going. Haven't had Bib and Tucker. It's been a while on Bullet, but honestly, a lot of folks I really trust love Bullet. So, want to see you try Blood Oath? Well, hang out for just a little while. We'll pop one open if you want to. I've got 6, 7, 8. Prefer rye mash bill and no wheat in my bourbons. Okay, so if you like ryes, now I tend to like ryes that are not super rye forward. So Michter's ryes are really, really good. The Sagamore rye back there is fantastic. If you don't have a Sagamore rye, go buy one. Another super chat, $5 from Evan, puts us at 40% of the way to making a Coy Hill and Dr. Pepper. Thank you, Evan. I appreciate you. And Evan says, enjoy your vids. That's awesome. Cheech has been busy this week. I don't know. He hasn't been here in either stream this week. Does drinking it from a Glencairn make a real difference? It does to me, Sean. Some people say it's not a difference, but for me, a glass like this, and I'm filming a video on that tomorrow, but a glass like this, it's just a complete different experience. I pick up a lot more sophistication on the whiskey, right? So if it has some different flavors, if it evolves in the palate, a lot of that is kind of picked up with this glass for me versus a rocks glass. You may find it completely different. Like maybe I'm just a weirdo. This is a bottle of what? You called it, it's TX. You called it something else, right? It just says TX. This is made by who? Oh, Firestone and Robertson. Well, shit. Don't get all technical on me. I don't know things. You're sorry about that. I didn't even read the distiller. It just says TX. If you just said TX, I know what you're talking about. This is my first bottle, so that's why I didn't know the distiller. My first bottle, and I like it. I think it was better than the Evan Williams single barrel 2011 vintage we just had. I think it's got some interesting flavors. So it's kind of like a Garrison Brothers, but much more subtle and watered down. So it's got some of those flavors. It's not as complex as the Garrison Brothers. It's not as robust, but honestly, that'll make it a lot more palatable to a lot of folks. Poco Dad, thanks for the spicy pepper over there. And Mike Hammond dropped the big super chat. $20 super chat. Lee, Lord, we're at 60. We're at 60% of the way. Y'all must want to see a Coy Hill and Dr. Pepper. 80%, 60%, isn't it? We're at $60, right? Will's keeping up with it. We're going to have to put a counter. We're going to get on a counter. I'll have a counter by the next live stream. Well, maybe not Monday stream 2 weeks from now, but the Wednesday stream I will. Most overrated bottle I've picked up. Okay, so this is a complex question. This is a very complicated question. So I'm going to take a minute. So just, slow down on the questions if you want me to get to yours. But it didn't show Linda becoming a member. Where's Linda at? I see Linda there. Did Linda join before the stream? She may have joined before the stream. She may have been the first member. Linda, hello, and thanks for being a channel member. I appreciate it. We just got those channel memberships going. Let me get to the most overrated bottle, because this is a very interesting debate. Because you've got something like, what did I just pull off? Okay, I just unplugged my Alexa. That's good. Brian, bringing her. Now we're at 80%. Lord have mercy. Y'all are out of y'all's mind. I like the lights flashing. What do I need? I need lightning and thunder. Okay, so we're going to do something like that, right? And then we're going to talk about something like this. So there's two ways you could go with this most overrated bottle debate. You could talk about something like this right here, right? Pappy Van Winkle 15. Let me see if I can zoom in for y'all so y'all can see that. Pappy Van Winkle, I can't get it in the frame completely, but Pappy Van Winkle 15. Family Reserve. This is a Santa Pappy, so it has the red top for you here. And this is a very expensive bottle, right? Like this is thousands of dollars for this bottle. And this is not even, it's more rare, more valuable because it had a red top, because that was a mistake, like 1 year only mistake. And we just popped it open, so it didn't change the flavor of the whiskey on the inside, if you're wondering. It did not. Probably should have just, I could have traded this. I could have traded this for a black top and a George T. Stagg or something like that, probably, and opened that one. But I did not. We opened it. We open our whiskey. That's what we do. So, got another super chat from Home Skillets. Living many a person's dream. If I could figure out how to make a living from it, I would be living the dream. That puts us at 90, and Maisie put us over the top. Oh my God, we got okay, so we have the $100 we need to do a Coy Hill and Dr. Pepper. Let me finish this rant, and then we'll try that. That's awesome. So this guy here, super, super expensive bottle of whiskey, but it's delicious. This is a fantastic bottle of whiskey. One of the top 5 whiskeys I've ever had in my entire life. So how could it be disappointing if this is one of the best bottles of whiskeys, but it's like thousands of dollars? Now I didn't pay thousands of dollars for it, right? I did not pay anywhere near what this is worth, but that's what it goes for. That's the hype it receives. That's what other people pay for this bottle. And so it becomes very overrated in that regard. So super overrated, but it still really is one of the best whiskeys I've ever had. But then you've got a guy like this that's pretty highly rated as well. This is Elmer T. Lee. So good old Elmer T. Lee, which is, again, it's a fine bottle of whiskey. This is not a bad bottle of whiskey at all. But this is not an exceptional bottle of whiskey in any regards to me. Like it's on the level of Buffalo Trace, maybe right up above it for me. Buffalo Trace, this, and a high tier Blanton's, a low, some Blanton's I get. Nate over here swears it's the Rick number. I don't know if that's true, but the evidence has been inconclusive, but so far it has not disproven his theory. So the high Rick Blanton's I've got is better than this. The low Rick Blanton's I've got are kind of similar, right? Very, very similar in complexity and mouthfeel and things like that. So that just makes this because I expected a lot when this bottle's going for what, $300+ on the secondary market. I expected a lot out of this guy, and it was just a pretty good bottle of whiskey, no better than a Blanton's to me. So that's probably where I'm trying to think if there's like a bad bottle though. But usually if it's a bad bottle, I kind of know going into it. So I haven't had one that I was super hyped and it was just terrible. They're just not special, right? Maisie said, I don't know what Coy Hill, but I'm excited to see you drink it. So Coy Hill, let's talk about Coy Hill for a second. Let me catch up on the chat here. That's no, this is a 15. This is a 15-year-old Pappy. It's just got the red top. It was the mistake that year at the factory. So this is like a 2018 Santa Pappy is what they call it because of the red top. The 25 normally are the older ones. I don't know about the 25, but this actually got the top from the 12-year. But I think some of the older Pappies get red tops as well. All right, Southern Comfort with Mountain Dew. I'll have to check that out. Where do you find limited release? Each state's different, Crispy, so I couldn't tell you. GTS, the one time I got picked for the lotto, yeah, save it, man. It's just gonna get better. Gonna get more expensive too. I really liked it, but it's still disappointing for that much money. Like, what do you expect out of a $3,000 whiskey when you drink it? I expect angels and the heavens to rain down on me, and for me to be like especially lucky for a year or something. Like, I don't even freaking know. Like, I don't know. Yeah, Linda, all we do is open bottles. I try to tell people we have a selection, not a collection. I do not own a bottle of whiskey that I will not open. I won't do it. If I would refuse to open it, it's got to go. So, or I won't buy it. So, yeah, Linda, I appreciate the support with the channel membership. And again, tell me, I don't know if I missed it. Did you join before the stream? Because I didn't see the notification. I want to make sure we work that out. $40, Thomas? Fine. $3.50? Nah. Oh, yeah, Blanton's, Elmer, Rock Hill Farm. Rock Hill Farms is one by far. And then for me, a good Blanton's bottle. Some of them are good, some of them are okay. A good Blanton's bottle, and then Elmer T. Lee. Angel's Envy, not worth the hype. I don't love it for the hype it gets, but honestly, it doesn't. A lot of people love it, but it's not super hyped. Lower end proof whiskeys, go get yourself an Old Forester 86 proof. And again, I've got a video coming out on YouTube about my top 5 beginner whiskeys, beginner bourbons. And I think I'll have to ask Will, I think that's the bottle that comes out on, or the video that comes out on Friday. We are at $110, so we are going to make this drink. I have to get a glass, and all my glasses are dirty. So we're going to have to use one of these ugly glasses. I mean, they're not terribly ugly. They're just kind of weird. These projectile glasses that came with the decanter somebody sent me over here. So we've got a Dr. Pepper. So now, if you don't know, we leave the measuring to the professionals, right? So who needs to measure? I do like wine. I don't drink a ton of it, but I like it. Jefferson's aged at sea. We might have some in a little bit. We'll see. Buffalo Trace is good stuff. Elmer T, no, Elmer T over, it depends on the Weller. Maybe Elmer T over Special Reserve. Definitely not any other Weller. 12 just depends on whether or not I'm filling the oak. I thought, well, Bellmead Reserve is actually really good. So if you can get a Bellmead Reserve for, $60, $70, buy it. But other than that, I wouldn't buy any of the other Bellmead stuff. All right, what's the difference between a wheat and a bourbon? So bourbon is 51% corn. And the second most prominent grain can be any cereal grain. So it just means that the second most prominent grain is wheat or rye. Now, flavor-wise, wheat tends to be a little sweeter, a little more floral and fruity, whereas rye tends to be a little more spicy and peppery. Now, that is 140 proof of at least $500 bottled whiskey. And let's see how she tastes right here. Coy Hill and Dr. Pepper Zero. It actually smells really good. And I love a Jack and Coke. Never had a Jack and Dr. That's actually pretty damn good. Now, I wouldn't recommend you do it with Coy Hill. I would recommend you do it with like Jack Daniel's Barrel Strength or something, but that's actually, wow, I'm going to have to do a freaking video about Jack and Dr. Pepper. That's actually really freaking good. Much better than I expected it to be. Never had 1792. I like it. It's not like my favorite of all time, but it's good whiskey. And a lot of people do love them. The 12-year I really like a lot. Poco, channel subscriber over on TikTok. Thank you for your support. Appreciate that. Good pick. Rick differences. Okay, so Rick, and I don't know about Blanton. Somebody here may be able to tell me about Blanton's Ricks, but like with Four Roses, they have like a Rick level on the bottle. On the, it's a like barrel number and it has a Rick number in it, which means if it's a higher number, it's in the top of the warehouse. With Blanton's, the assumption is the higher the number, the higher it was in the warehouse, which means the more extreme temperature fluctuations, which means the more flavor in that particular bottle. Now, we opened on a stream not long ago. I had a 73, a 35, and like a 6 or 7. And the 73 did win that blind for me. The other one came in second, but for my wife, the lower Rick number actually came in first. So for me, the theory holds up for Nate so far, but we'll see. We'll see. Nate says it hurts. Coy Hill, its whole premise is high Rick. I agree. Coy Hill, yes, that comes from a very high Rick. Yes, I agree. I just don't know how they number the Ricks at Blanton's, right? I don't know if like 73 is like just way down on the end or if it's way up high. Like, I just don't know. But I agree. High Rick theoretically makes sense. So I agree with Nate that theoretically that would be a better barrel. So it is a very good hypothesis. I just have no empirical evidence to say that it is proven as true. Widow Jane's good. They use some George Dickel in the 10-year. It depends on the batch as to whether or not I like it because I don't like George Dickel. But if like the 13-year was really, really good, and a lot of batches they do a good job of blending, I enjoy. Send you that ugly glass with the projectile sticking out of it. Favorite beer, Cigar City Maduro. Poco, I have to ask, but I can't drink Four Roses. You have to ask what? I'm sorry, did I miss? I don't know if I missed one. Sorry about that. Oh, you talking about the old Forester 86 proof? I got you. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, the 1792, but it's 1792. I've got her store picks. So they're all store picks. They're a little off and they're single barrels, so they're not the small batch. I'm just not a huge fan of them, but they're pretty good. Jack and Dr. Pepper over Coke. Well, this may be my first one, and it's probably the most expensive whiskey and Coke I've ever had. But dang, it is delicious. Like, it just keeps getting better. It's like creamy and smooth. You've got like a really kind of cherry. This has some interesting cherry notes, like dark cherry. And then that Dr. Pepper just kind of enhances those. So it's crazy. Rick number 28. And that's kind of low, but not super low. I don't necessarily recommend using a decanter, Ruben. I mean, if you just need a fancy bottle or if your cork breaks or you need to do something with it, sure. But like realistically, it's just to look fancy. Like, they come in a bottle with a cork. Why am I decanting it? Like, I don't know. Somebody may have a reason, but I don't know why. Second, the Knob Creek 12. I'm sorry, I may have missed a few. I apologize. Dr. Thunder 0. I don't have any of that. What's my first high-proof rye? Linda says, high-proof ryes. What's a good high-proof rye that she can actually go get? What's the Sagamore at? That's a 83 proof, so that's super low. Can't do that one. So if you can get it, my favorite rye out of every rye I've ever tried is the Michter's Barrel Strength Rye. So if you can get that one, absolutely that one. But I don't have any high proof ryes other than that. So I apologize for not having a good suggestion. What's a good store-bought whiskey that won't break the bank? There's lots of them. In that video, like Josh, I've got an entry-level whiskey video coming out Friday that'll go over. It actually has 8 of them in there. So cringe at using Gentleman Jack as a mix. Hey, the chat paid for it. I should have had a higher goal. Like, dadgummit, how much will y'all donate if we do a Pappy and Dr. Pepper? I don't know. What's up, Tony from Connecticut? Fell in love with I love Michter's Thriller. Love it. Ardbeg. Do I drink scotch? Poco, I don't really drink a lot of scotch. Evan Williams Bottle and Bond is actually a really good entry level. That's on my list. If you like Evan Williams Bottle and Bond, what I suggest for, like, if you're just getting started, so I'll try to go through the list off of memory. And I do my top 5, but realistically it's 8. So, because I couldn't pick 5 because I'm lame like that. So Four Roses single barrel, Old Forester 86, Elijah Craig small batch, Buffalo Trace Eagle Rare, Wild Turkey 101, Evan Williams bottle and bond, and I think the other one may have been Benchmark small batch. So 3 Buffalo Traces in there. Yeah, just join on Discord. If y'all are not in Discord, we just have a cool little community going over there. So as long as you don't take whiskey too seriously and you're not a butthole, then join the Discord, hang out with us. The link is in the bio here on TikTok, and then folks have been dropping it over here regularly on YouTube. So I got some sound coming through here. I need to mute this guy. All right. Just to look fancy. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. If I want to feel like Don Draper for an afternoon, I'll drive the Lincoln around. He had a Cadillac, but I'll drive the Lincoln around, and I'll come home to my decanter. I don't think I've had Ezra Brooks 7-year. Jack Daniel's single barrel rye, that's actually that's a good suggestion, Matt. Good suggestion. Dr. Pepper mixes better with the Southern Comfort. Evan Williams rye, I haven't had that one. Oh, I'm way behind. Is it Coy Hill like an $800 bottle? Yes, Evan, it is. It is. But they just paid $100 for me to pour like 2 ounces of it. So I feel like I won. I feel like I won that one. Linda said, try what? Try what? What am I trying, Nate? Let me catch up with Linda. Whatever Linda says. Linda's a channel member. I'm going to do whatever Linda asked me to do. A few minutes before we got the mess, just a lag moment. Okay. She said, try what? Linda didn't say try anything. I don't see any message from Linda saying try something. Yeah, it should be coming on Friday. I'm pretty sure it's Friday. Will can confirm if he's still in the chat. Pappy and Mountain Dew. I might have some Mountain Dew. I might actually have a Mountain Dew. How much do we got? We got to get to like 250. And it's going to be a small pour of Pappy and Mountain Dew if we get to 250. And I got to make sure I have Mountain Dew, but I'll mix it with something if I don't. Nelson Brothers, haven't tried it. I like the Belmead Reserve, but I haven't. John from New York. Glen Ellen, I don't know, haven't tried that. Woodford Reserve's pretty good. I like the double oaked myself. If I'm drinking Woodford, that's usually what it is. A bourbon and a Dr. Pepper. So I've got, Dr. Pepper just came out with, I literally for a video tomorrow was going to mix a bourbon and Dr. Pepper because Dr. Pepper just came out with their limited release Dr. Pepper bourbon flavor that I'm never going to be able to get my hands on. So I was going to try it tomorrow. This is the first time I've tried it. It's freaking fantastic. Gentleman Jack's pretty good. It's, I usually it's not the Jack I go to. Like, I would rather have a triple mash or a Sinatra or the 10-year or even the bonded to Gentleman, but Gentleman's a good bit better than Old Number 7. Anything similar to Weller Antique 107 other than the other Weller stuff? Not really to me. That has a very distinct flavor. Now, a lot of the other Buffalo Trace stuff has a similar sweetness. It just doesn't quite have that kind of wheated red fruit sweetness. So try a Buffalo Trace, those kinds of things. You can get some similar flavors. Like, there are differences, but they're going to be, subtle but impactful differences. Have a little Old Forester 15, definitely one of my faves. Nice. Darn, I'm a butthole, Glenn says. I'm going to show that one. Appreciate it, New Testament. Have you been to Sazerac House in New Orleans? I have not. I've got to go to, what's the town? Lake Charles, like not too far from New Orleans here in a couple of weeks. So, all right, Glenn, as long as you're a self-aware butthole, we'll allow it, okay, in the Discord. As long as you're self-aware. Again, everybody, if you would, pump those likes for me. Let's see how many folks we can get in here. TikTok especially has been metering the heck out of me now that I'm using the big stream setup. So make sure you're following, you're subscribed. Do you like Old Grand? Yeah, I love Old Granddad 114 for a cheap one. I have a ton of early times. We opened the early times, or that's Evan Williams, sorry. We opened we had early times bottle and bond. I have an No, I'm thinking Evan Williams. I'm out of my damn mind. I've got an early time somewhere. Early times bottle and bond. That's the blue label. There you go. Yes, I love that. I love the old early times bottle and bond. The new one, a little iffy. Sorry, got a little confused. Those damn E. Everything is named starting with an E. Move out of the way. Hey, Linda's a channel member. She got priority. That's just how it works. I can't help it. she supports. I said, well, Pappy and beer. I don't think I even have a beer. If I have a beer, it's probably one of those nasty IPAs, and I can't do that. I've had Whistle Pig. It's been a while. Fable and Folly is fantastic. That's freaking good. For low proof, I can't believe the flavor complexity out of that low of a proof whiskey. Michter's Barrel Strength Rye is fantastic for sure. Appreciate that, HM12434. So the Discord's awesome. Lots of cool stuff. You're from Lake Charles? Well, I recently bought a Lincoln Continental, Maggie, my 1972 Lincoln, and in true form, I now have to buy another Lincoln to get the parts I need to fix this one and get it perfect. So I'm buying one in Lake Charles. As long as everything goes smoothly the next 2 weeks, I'll head over there. Got you to 12K likes. Nice. I appreciate everybody pumping those likes. I haven't tried Ben Bracken. I don't see anything to become a channel member. Will, are you over there? Can you help Evan out? It should be down at the bottom of the chat. There should be something about it. If not, maybe try to reload the page. I'm not real sure. You did your BA there? Nice. Knob Creek 9-year, 120 proof. I don't think I've had that one. Biola Buds? What is Biola? Whoa, got another super chat. $10 from Thomas Hensel. Thank you. Binged YouTube shorts yesterday. Some real quality entertainment. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate the support, man. We've put a ton of effort into those shorts. We have a lot of fun with them, though. A lot of fun. It took some folks by surprise. We got a lot of hate early, but we've started to build up a nice community that just kind of, like, if we just pin a comment, folks just go crazy on them, and I love it. I wish TikTok would let me pin some of the dumb comments we get. But on YouTube, we just pin it to the top, and the community just has a field day with the idiots. What am I coming to LC for? To pick up a Lincoln Continental. So, Daniel, if you're in the Discord, I'll post. I'm probably going to be there not this weekend, next weekend, but the following one. So I think, was that like the 12th or something like that? Brian is now in the channel membership. Nice. Not as cool as my Fuller people and my Ridley College people. I'm not a huge rum fan, but I'm not against rum either, Cancer. I just haven't gone too deep into it. I need to. My favorite's Antique 107, Weller there, Braden. Sharing the live. Yeah, if you share the live, that helps out a lot as well. I appreciate it. Drink 5 Trails anytime. The Blue Note I've had is good, but I don't own a bottle that hasn't been tampered with. Like, that was a honey barrel. The one I have was a honey barrel somebody did, and it's a little over the top. So, just bought my favorite bourbon, like William LaRue or Antique 107, because I kind of use those interchangeably depending on what I'm talking about, like tops of the tops or just really good. RR13, Batch 2, or Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend. That's tough, Noah. I would love to blind those and pick, but right now I would pick the Cigar Blend just because Russell's 13, the starting flavor. Randall Chase just joined the membership over there on YouTube as well. That is awesome, guys. I appreciate it. Make sure if you're a channel member over on YouTube, please make sure you're in the Discord. We have a channel only, our members only channel for our patrons, our supporters. Also, like Poco and live stream subscribers here on TikTok. Make sure you're in the Discord. Hit Brewzle Wheel up in the Discord. We'll add you into that channel because we're going to pick from you supporters. So I can take 4 people to do barrel picks, and we're going to rotate between those. Next year, we hope to do a lot of barrel picks. We're doing our first one here in late November. After I get back from Lake Charles, we're going to go to Louisville and do the barrel pick. And so you'll have a chance to be involved in that or buy those bottles. You'll get first dibs at them. We're going to do some swag and stuff just for supporters. So just make sure the Discord is, because we've got supporters in all different platforms. Discord is where we communicate and bring all of those together. So I got you, New Testament. I'm just trying to keep up. I'm missing a few chats. The chat's been really hopping and active. I appreciate it. And I apologize if I missed anybody's question. I will try to get to as many of them. Anything new that I recommend? I haven't hit anything new. Like, honestly, if you haven't had a John J. Bowman, that's pretty good. That's probably the thing I've had fairly recently. The Larceny B522 did really good. Barrel Vantage is actually, we've been doing like 4 reviews now on the new format on YouTube, and Barrel Vantage is #1 out of those 4, even including the B522 Larceny. So I really enjoyed the Barrel Vantage. That has now I'm skewed high proof, so that has a great mouthfeel, a lot of complexity. The finish of several different oaks is not overwhelming. I think they did a good job. But let me get back to Russell's Reserve 13 versus Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend. The Russell's Reserve 13, that flavor it hits you with right out of the gate is exceptional. Like, I freaking love it. But then it kind of dissipates into bitter oak and like a dryness that just kind of overwhelms the palate. And I'm not a huge fan of that bitter oak. I feel like it just kind of takes away from what is otherwise an exceptional whiskey. And that is all Russell's Reserve. They all hit me with a bitter oak note. And so that keeps it from being just, oh my God, wow. Like, if I didn't catch that bitter note, and sometimes I'll have a drink and I don't get it, and I was like, this is one of the best things ever. But most of the time I get that bitter oak on it. And so that's why, like, Cigar Blend is just so freaking exceptional. The one I have is exceptional. So I would probably lean that way. But honestly, if that bitter oak didn't hit me with the Russell's Reserve on a particular pour, I'm going to go that way all day, because it's got a lot of like deep, like red fruits and stuff in it. Buffalo Trace has got to be kind of the favorite distillery, right? Like, as far as like so many products they make that I love. I haven't had Ben Bracken. All right, catching up over here. How do you join the members? Should be a link down at the bottom. Yeah, Danny, I don't know if you're behind, but we have the Santa Pappy there. My favorite cheap bourbon, Wild Turkey 101 is like $25-ish around here. Evan Williams Bottle and Bond is like $17. So that's probably the super cheap. A benchmark, like a benchmark small batch. What was it? It was the benchmark bonded, I think, that I've been having a lot of fun with, which is like $20 or so. So all good ones. So Jordan, you should be able to see it down at the bottom. If not, reload the page. You should just look around. You should be able to. Randall, thank you. I appreciate it. And thanks for being a member again. Vodka. I don't do vodka. Let's see. Elijah Craig Barrel Strength. Some of them I like. I need to put a little water on it for me to love it. Like, it just comes a little sharp until I put a little water on it, and it's fantastic. Thank you, Totally Bruh. Chris with the Turkey 101. Nice. Love that. The Last Burb? I don't know what you mean. J-Dub, not a huge fan of Chattanooga. Chattanooga, the stuff I have has a lot of malt to it, and I'm not a fan of malt. So, not something I drink a lot. I did like the Founder series. That got a pretty good review, but that was in our old format. So, C-Man, you should be able to see the Discord in my bio. There should be a link tree and then a link to the Discord. So, you should be able to find it there. Last bourbon that you did my TikTok, the one we just came out with. What did we release today? Oh, that was like mixing stuff. The last review on TikTok was probably, that had to be the Barrel Vantage. Kyle Jett joined the channel membership. Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate you joining in the support. Port barrel aged. I'm not a huge fan of port barrel aged, Jeffrey. And it's not the worst. It's not like a Cabernet or something like that. I really don't like those. Port is usually kind of subtle. At least most of the ones you have are kind of subtle, so I could deal with it. It's like an Angel's Envy. I'll drink it. I'll be happy, especially if it's super subtle like that. But it's not a bottle I'm ever going to seek out, right? Looking for a mini aging barrel because my store keeps getting more allocated stuff. I think, what is it, Red-Headed Barrels is where I bought the one I had. I just bought a new small one over there. You can't really see it, but it's super tiny. But like Red-Headed Barrels makes a really quality thing. Basil Hayden's, it's okay. It's simple. It's easy to sip on, but honestly, it's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for more intense flavors and higher proof. We have Barrel Vantage, and I've been so curious. Yeah, the Barrel Vantage. Honestly, the best value out there from Barrel Bourbon Company. What's up, J-Rock? Coffee with cigars? Is there a coffee-infused bourbon that you recommend? I don't know if there's a coffee-infused bourbon. There's a bourbon-infused coffee. So coffee-infused bourbon. Really what you're talking about is a bourbon that has maybe coffee notes. I don't know anybody that infuses it. But if you want like those super intense... I think a lot of folks say they get, like Nate was talking about how the Woodford Reserve 5 malted stouted mash was like very coffee forward. So look for that one. It's limited release, but look for that one if you could get it. What do you think of Horse Soldier? A couple of questions. Same Sterling and Frost. I haven't had it. Need one. Just try. Hey, Will, if you're still in the chat, Randall tried to join the Discord over on YouTube. Said the link was invalid. Get a fresh link over here for me if you would. Virginia bourbons, like we were just talking about the John J. Bowman here just a little bit earlier. John J. Bowman right here. That's a Virginia whiskey. That's probably the only one I know of off the top of my head that is a Virginia whiskey. Can't find it. Evan can't find it. If anybody has instructions, we need to fight for every channel member we can get. If anybody can precisely tell Evan where that button is, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, Granddaddy is good fun. 114 is fantastic. Favorite bourbon all time, William LaRue Weller. Haven't tried Ben Bracken. Thank you there. Content not original. I try to make my content original though. So, but I appreciate it. Peach tea or the peach and apple? You talking about like the videos, the Crown stuff? The peach tea is pretty good. I do like the apple and Mountain Dew though. First good bourbon. Okay, so Connor, we literally have this video coming out on Friday. I think it's the Friday release. Don't get mad at me if not. It'll be next week if it's not this Friday release. But that is where I go over like the top 8 bourbons for beginners. And we just went over it a bit. You might could rewind the stream, but we just went over it. All right, working EMS, got to try the Responder. If I see it, I'll grab one. My favorite toasted. Now, I haven't had a ton of toasted, but right now the Michter's, try to get it right. It's not the sour mash, but their toasted barrel finish Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey is probably the tops of my list. I haven't tried Wayne Gretzky's whiskey, but if I come across one, I'm absolutely going to buy it. We have a lot of success with celebrity whiskeys. Owen, thanks for the pumpkins, man. I appreciate it. Can you explain cask strength? Whew, I'm gonna mess that up. And there's some subtle differences, which honestly I just learned recently because I just kind of meander through life without knowing things, and sometimes they just smack me in the face. And so cask strength is where it is bottled without watering it down at whatever strength it came out of that barrel. Barrel strength is going to be like whatever proof they put it in the barrel at, they're going to water it back down to that when they bottle it. So like Weller Full Proof is always 114 because it's going to go up in proof, and they're going to water it back down to 114. So cask strength, it is cask, C-A-S-K, just means they're not watering it down, right? They take it out, they put it into a bottle. Ever take a vacation? Every once in a while, Rockbridge, but I usually work on vacation. So, Horses and Bourbon, again, right next to the subscribe should be a link to become a member if you would like to. I have not tried Dalmore Cigar Malt, but I'm open to trying anything. I mean, heck, we're drinking Coy Hill and Dr. Pepper. What's my maximum price on a single bottle of whiskey? It depends on how bad I want it, but really $200, $250 is kind of my range that I try to stay in. Especially right now that we're buying a lot of whiskey for content. Sometimes stuff I don't even want, right? And so I'm just having to buy a lot of bottles, and so splurging on something super nice, really hard for me to do right now. What's going on, Jonathan? Yeah, Horses and Bourbon, thanks for the interest. Like I said, it should be right next to the subscribe button. Haven't tried Wilderness Trail, Hunter and Scott Reservoir. Haven't had that. You have to go to Safari. You can't do it on the app with Apple. That sucks. In the debate, whiskey or brandy? Whiskey all day. That's not even a debate. Nobody's debating that. KF Riley, thanks for the roses. I appreciate that. Poco, Larceny. I like Larceny barrel proof, not normal Larceny. It's a little too low proof for me, but the barrel proof stuff's good. The difference between whiskey and bourbon depends on where you're at in the world, Colin. Again, bourbon is a whiskey, but it is a more specific definition here in the United States. If you are over in Europe somewhere, they got their own rules, and I don't know what they are. Just found a bottle of Dread River. Haven't tried it. I haven't tried Decadence. I would like to. That's pretty. I hear it's good, but I don't know. I hear it's good, but I'm a little iffy on it. I'm a little sketch. It's a little sketch. I need a Knob Creek 18 well blender. I need one. That's on my list, but I haven't come across it. Nick Winton, what's going on? Send a message on the website with my contact info. Pin my message on the video to win the tasting kit. So you won the tasting kit. Randall Chase won the tasting kit. I'm assuming Will's gone. So Will in here. Join the Discord, Randall. Uncle Nate just posted the Discord link. Join the Discord. Send me a DM or tag me in the general chat, and I will get you the code. It may be tomorrow, depending on what time we end the stream, but I will get you a code to get that tasting kit. And I'll confirm. I need to confirm that it was you. That name does sound familiar. So we will get you that tasting kit. And I don't know. I don't think the TikTok winner has replied yet either. I haven't seen Blue Note in Alabama, Neil. Got a good draw in the Alabama lottery? What'd you get? What'd you get, McKinley? What's your number? See if I got a number there. I haven't tried walking stick either. Elijah Craig 18-year is better than small batch. Super oaky, though, but it's low proof. But, yeah, you got to like the oak, though, right? I don't have a lot of experience with the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, John. I just work. I just grind, as someone said earlier, right? So I haven't been. I'm going to go. We're going to go, like I said, we're going in a few weeks to do our first barrel pick, which I'm nervous about because I got to outlay some pretty significant cash flow here. I'm going to have to stop some house projects we're working on. I may have to sell a kidney, but we're going to buy a barrel, and then we're going to try to, find a retailer and maybe do a pre-sale to cover it, and we're going to, so I'm going to go up there and do a pick in Louisville with barrel craft spirits, and then I may hit some distilleries while I'm there and try it out. Blanton's is not really batch like that, right? So, Justin, Blanton's is a single barrel. So what you want to look for is just the highest Rick number you can get. If you want a good Blanton's, according to Nate, and I can't doubt him because it does seem to be holding up so far, the higher the Rick number, the better. Glenn made it as a channel member. Thank you, Glenn. I appreciate you putting in the effort there. I know it was kind of a pain to figure out where to go. Why is Weller 12 so hyped? Dude, you tell me. It has to be because it's like Pappy Juice and Pappy 12's is hyped. Like Pappy 15's hyped. You can't get that, so let's move on to Pappy 12 is hyped. And then you got Weller 12, so it's the same proof and the same whiskey, and it's like, it's got to be that. Like, it's got to be. Like, Weller 12's like the worst one. It's the worst one. Like, give me Special Reserve over Weller 12, and all the bottles I've had, I would just soon have the Special Reserve. So, the Old Camp Pecan, the Peach Pecan whiskey we've got back there, it was fine. I think if you're going to go with, like, peach whiskey, I think the Crown Royal is the way to go. And we've got that video's coming out here soon. We did a Jim Beam peach versus a Crown Royal. I really think the Crown Royal is the way to go if you want peach whiskey. Aiden, we did a Proper 12 review. It's on the channel. So, Proper 12 review. Check it out. I think we did it. I mean, they did like over 1 million views. I wouldn't say that 1792 is junk, but it's not something I really go back to a lot. So, Randall, nice. So, ping me, and I will get you your code to get you the tasting kit. They're really, really nice, man. They're awesome. So, we have the blind tasting kits. I don't know if y'all have seen that video, but it has like it's the deluxe kit. So, you're going to get 6 glasses so you and a friend can pour 3 whiskeys, mix them up, and then, have a kind of a blind tasting experience, which I think is the most fun way. It's even more fun if somebody else pours them for you and you have no idea what the bottles are, but it's still a lot of fun. Oh yeah, great people and better bourbon. It's going to be fun. Like if you have a bad time on the bourbon trail, you really screwed something up. Ruben, channel member, thank you. Or channel subscriber, live subscriber on TikTok. Ruben, make sure you're in the Discord. It should be linked in my bio. Let's make sure, ping me, tag me if you join the Discord, and let me get you in our supporters channel over there because we've got some cool things we're doing for supporters. The Mountain Dew and Crown Apple was pretty good, Ruben. It actually was. If you're drinking like a college kid, or if you just want something sweet that goes down pretty good and tastes like apple juice but gives you a little alcohol, that did it. It was surprisingly good. Like, I know Crown Apple's pretty good, Mountain Dew's pretty good. I just didn't expect it to taste almost identical to just apple juice. Kentucky Owl Takumi? Haven't had that. That's awesome. Haven't had Howler. I've had Tin Cup, but it's been a while, and when I haven't had one in a long time, I need to go back to it because your palate will evolve. So, Yeah, we just went over no, we just went over cask strength. So basically, that just means cask strength means it's not watered down, right? It's bottled as how it come out of the barrel. Rick Life's Matter, Seth says. I saw a guy that bought his own barrel, then filled it with Old Grand Down 114. Well, we're gonna do one. So I've got a little barrel. I'm gonna fill it. I'm literally filming a video Friday where we're gonna fill it with Ancient Age and see how that does. So we're gonna do. I'm working on a video. We're trying to do better than Blanton's. So I want to take Ancient Age and make it better than Blanton's and get some content creator to say it's better than Blanton's. So we're going to put it in a barrel. We're going to put it in like some toasted oak staves. We're going to do 4 or 5 different experiments with it. We're going to blend those together and see if we can come up with something that they would pick in a blind against a bottle of Blanton's. And we may not. We may not be successful, but we're going to give it a try. I have not done a Blue Run High Rye, but I should. That's actually a good suggestion there, Frito. I have it. I just haven't done the review. Antique 107. Oh, yeah, 250. Just skip that. Just skip that at 250. Agrees on the Special Reserve versus 12. Had to get the laptop, Glenn says. So apparently it's an app thing. Oh, yeah. iOS wants to take like a huge cut, and YouTube won't give it to them. So that's the problem. Thanks for so next time somebody can't find it, that may be what it is. Get those high ricks. Pump those ricks. Again, pump the likes for me if you would. Make sure you're following or subscribed if you're into that. And again, if you want to support the channel, we've got a lot of folks joining the memberships on YouTube, but we also have live subscribers over here on TikTok. Jägermeister is best. I don't know if I'm going to agree with that, but no. The best 1792 is the 12 year. I didn't really care for the Sweet Wheat. That's probably my least favorite, honestly. It was just simple. I love wheaters, but that one was just simple. There was no complexity to it. Barrels and Billets in Kentucky does a whiskey blending, which is pretty cool. Nice. 1792 is overhyped. It does tend to get a lot of hype. I don't know if it's super overhyped. Like, I just haven't heard a ton of hype, but a lot of questions about it, I guess I should say. But you can get it anywhere, whereas Weller 12 is going to cost you an arm and a leg. I have not had Piggyback. Calumet Farm 16 is an exceptional pour if you get a chance to get one of those. They're going up in price, though. They got some hype, and, man, they started jacking the price up. Why is bourbon considered a niche drink compared to other liquors internationally? Honestly, bourbon was a niche drink here until not too long ago. So the rest of the world just hasn't caught up. They will. I'm in Alabama. What's going on, Bourbon Benny? And I'm behind on the chats. I'm trying to keep up with both of them. I apologize. Don't be afraid to post it again if I miss your comment. Because if you just joined, I am streaming on YouTube and TikTok, and I am switching back and forth between the chats as much as I possibly can. Travis says, love your content. First time getting into a live stream, sipping on a new Riff Store pick. I need one of those, man. I need them. Weller's Pappy that didn't fit. Yeah, Weller is Pappy that didn't make the cut. So you don't buy it because you think it's Pappy. It's Pappy that Pappy didn't want, right? That the Van Winkles are like, this isn't good enough. And then they do it, for it doesn't fit the profile. So then they put it in Weller stuff. Going to do a tasting with my fiance. She's a wine. Yeah. That's why you won. So you weren't in that live stream, Randall. We picked 4 or 5. I think Will ended up picking 5 or 6 comments. We picked 5 or 6 comments, and then we brought them in here to the live stream, and we voted on them. And everybody voted on the wine sommelier winning, you and your wife with the wedding and the wine sommelier. So I hope you enjoy that and get her into bourbon. Four Roses Single Barrel, anything similar. So Four Roses Single Barrel has a lot of fruitiness to me. Depending on which mash bill you get, it could vary. I would move to like a Buffalo Trace or something. But again, subscribe over on YouTube. We've got a long form video coming out. It should be coming out Friday where I go over my top 8. It's supposed to be top 5, but I couldn't limit it to 5. I went top 8 bourbons for beginners. But like a Buffalo Trace and Eagle Rare, that's what I would want you to try next. I'm in Alabama. Again, let's see. I may have answered that one already. I haven't had Evan Williams Green Label. Don't know. Favorite cheap whiskey, Evan Williams Bottle and Bond. Haven't had a Pendleton Rye. Black Bandana, Bottle and Bond. I don't know. I haven't had Black Bandana. Yeah, Early Times Bourbon is pretty good. I love the Early Times Bottle and Bond. Heartburn from drinking, not usually. I used to a lot, but not since I was in my 20s. Haven't had Town Branch, and I like Elijah Craig lots. I appreciate it, Zayn. And Brock, thank you for the kind words. Ancient. Now I'm talking about ancient age, not ancient age. Right? We're not talking about the 10-star John Will. We did do some oak infusion. So what we've done is we've got a barrel, a small barrel we're going to pour it into, and then I bought the toasted spirals that we're going to throw it into, and then we're going to take it and we're going to distill all the whiskey out so we can up the proof. So I'm going to redistill a bottle and pull the whiskey out so we can up the proof, and then we're going to try to do what's called, I don't even know if I can say it because we get a bunch of juvenile senses of humor in here, but it's like what you would use to make apple jack cider, right? So you basically freeze the alcohol out to concentrate the flavors. And so we're going to try that. We're going to get like some dry ice and see if we can't pull some flavors out so we can increase the proof and more concentrate the flavors and blend the toasted and all sorts of things in there to see what we can do. Fireball and Jägermeister, that sounds like the road to a bad time. $50 to $100 bottle that's not nearly impossible to find. Go get yourself some Michter's, man. Woodford Double Oaked, Michter, any of the Michter stuff, you're going to have a good time. I have not had 1792 port, no. Liquor does not taste the same to everybody. Everybody has different palates. So what you want to do if you're trying to get into whiskey, you take some suggestions from somebody. If you like their suggestions, if their flavor palette fits yours, then continue down their suggestion path. But if I told you to buy something and you hate it, then quit listening to me. Keep coming and hanging out, drinking your own whiskey. Just don't listen to my suggestions. Ruben can't find it. So which one can't you find? I'm sorry, I've been doing a lot of talking. What can't you find? I haven't tried Johnny Drum, but I keep saying I'm going to pick one up. Cask strength and barrel proof are the same. Full proof is when it's watered down. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I may have said that wrong earlier, but that's what I tried to say. I have had the Buffalo Trace kosher wheated, but not a lot of it. I need more. John, I don't like anything from George Dickel. Just don't like it. I had a 15-year. I had one pour. I gave it away. Stag Junior or Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend. It depends on the Stag Junior batch. The one I had open a month ago, I would have chosen the Joseph Magnus. The one I have open right now would be Stag Junior by a mile. Make poor man's pappy. Here's my problem. I'm going to sacrifice and do it for a video. But I'm low on Antique 107. It is one of my favorite bottles. I don't have a 12 at all right now, so I'd have to source a 12. And I just don't want to ruin a 107. Like, I just like 107. Like, I just don't think it's going to be any better. So, but I do want to do it for a video and compare it to, this 15-year before I drink that sucker all the way up. So I'm going to do it. But right now, I just don't have the resources. I don't have a 12, and I'm low in 107. Just got a spare bottle, so I could, but... Green Label goes with cola. Yeah, I bet. Freeze the water out. That's what we're going to try to do. Freeze the water out. Yeah. Get Rare Breed's good. Rare Breed's not above $50 here, though. I mean, it might be in Alabama, but I can get it in Georgia. What's your pick on apple whiskeys? The only apple we've tried is the Crown. Let me catch up. Nika Whiskey, haven't had it. Thanks for the Big B. Thanks. The only Yellowstone I have is their limited release from 2020. Pretty good for a finished whiskey. White Monster Crown Apple Mix. I'll keep that in mind. Favorite cheap whiskey, Evan Williams Bottle and Bond. Marietta, Georgia in the house. I'm in Opelika. Yeah, I was just in Birmingham. I was in Alabaster a week ago. Haven't had Duke. Old Carter's freaking fantastic. Buy everyone you can get your hands on. Just don't even ask any questions. Just buy it. Old Elk. I have their wheated. Not so expensive. You feel guilty drinking it, but still. Oh yeah, it's good stuff. Okay, I got you, of course. What happened to, I don't know what happened to Evan Williams Green Label. Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond, I grab it. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's not like tops of the tops for me, but I think it's a really good bottle. I keep it on the bar at all times. Every time I go through one, I'll just buy another, but we don't go through it super fast. I haven't had the Penelope Toasted, but the Penelope Barrel Proof is good. The Architect is good. Like, I think the Toasted is going to be great, and it's on my list. I'll be drinking watered down. I've seen you like a lot lately. You talking about on the live streams here? Well, right now we're drinking, it's watered down, but it was 140 proof before it went in here. Sipping Michter's small batch for the first time. That is pretty good. I like Michter's. Fireball, and yeah, Evan does not sound like a good time. I'm going to be. Agitator aged in Cabernet barrels? No, Randall, but it doesn't sound like something I would. Everything I've ever had in Cabernet barrels, I hated. Like, not didn't like, hated. Everything I've ever had finished in Cabernet barrels. Are you telling me that's going to be the thing that changes my mind? The best I've ever had is William LaRue Weller. Johnny Drum, it's just like Dickel? Okay. I think that's a Willett product, isn't it? No, it's not worth the price compared to a Michter small batch. Now, it's completely different. It's leagues and, just like way, way, way better than a Michter small batch. Like, it's infinitely better than a Michter small batch, but still not worth the price difference, right? Like, it's so much different. But if you're just getting into whiskey, if you're not really picking up subtle nuances and flavor differences, honestly, it might not even be more enjoyable to you. It might not, depending on your flavor profile. Now, if you're really into whiskey and you've tried a bunch of them and you're really getting tasting notes and getting crazy about it, splurge for a pour at a bar. But, thousands of dollars for a bottle is just crazy. Forehead, I like Booker's. It was an acquired taste. Took me a while to get it, but it's good stuff. Any Penelope you can get is good. I've had them all. I've had them all. Every one I've had has been good. So all of them that I've had have been good. So the Architect and the Barrel Strength are the ones I like because I like it a lot. Jesus Christ, I'm trying to talk and read at the same time. The Architect and the Barrel Strength have been good, so I would not hesitate to buy anything from them. So Ruben, you're already a channel member over here on TikTok. You're already subscribed. That's why you got the little logo next to your name. So you're already in the club. Just make sure you're in the Discord. Ping me and say, hey, I'm Ruben from TikTok, and we'll get you in the special Discord channel for supporters. And that little logo helps me see your name, so I try to make sure I get to all your questions. I haven't had Wise Old Owl there, Poco. Mixed Crown Apple, the cranberry juice, that's on our list, Brian. That was a big suggestion in that video. I hear it's really, really good, so I'm going to do it. Haven't tried Mellow Corn, but it's going to happen. Use Special Reserve. I thought it was 12 in OWA. Penelope toasted and was impressed. I hear it's great, Glenn. 142.7, yes. The TX was good. It was better than the single barrel. We never even tried the Puncher's Chance. Once I finished this, again, we're trying to do more talking, less drinking, because my goal is not to just, drink a whole bunch on these streams. The more I drink, the less I want to stream for 2 days in a week. Best Old Forester. What's the best Old Forester? As far as year? I'm not sure. Oh, you're talking about like 1920, 1910. I like the 1920 just because I like the high proofness of it. But the 1910 is really good as well. I haven't tried all of the other ones, but those two are really, really good. Maker's Mark is fine. It's not exceptional. Some of their like wood finishing stuff I find really good, but like just a normal Maker's, if it's super high proof, it tends to get better for me, but yeah, not something I do a lot. Yeah, I think I answered the Wise Old Owl. Haven't had that. Need to try all the barrel varieties? Yeah, you're talking about like barrel craft spirits? The Vantage is really, really good. Haven't had Cuddy Sark. I feel like I need to. Like as much I got a house built in the 70s. I got a 72 Lincoln Continental. We got the hat. I need a decanter with some Cuddy Sark in it. I think so. Is there an area in Alabama where I could find a reasonable 107? So in Alabama, if you're in Alabama, they have the drop every month, and it used to be in there every single month. It was in there this, like last weekend, it was in the drop. So, but you got to have an Alabama license. So I appreciate it. Drum and Dickel Pass, I got you. James, I think I answered that. It depends on the batch with Stack Jr. So, smoking a Buffalo Trace cigar on the patio with a glass of Blue Note single barrel 10-year. Nice. That sounds like a good time. I can't smoke in here. My wife gets a little iffy. Honestly, I don't smoke a lot anyway. Just when I'm with other folks that do. So, Barrel Seagrass, Ammunition, Southern Star, Backbone, New Riff. I haven't had a lot of those. Seagrass was pretty good, but I haven't had a bottle to really enjoy it. I just had a pour. The Kentucky Owl stuff I hear is fantastic. Like good old Kentucky Owl. The only thing I had was a Confiscated, and it was just all right. Dovetail, again, I had a pour, haven't had a bottle. So I try not to judge things where I haven't owned the bottle, where I can really get into it, right? Yeah, wine finish, not my thing. Red Breast, haven't had it. Again, I got the Kentucky Owl. Decant Bookers if I'm sharing a bottle. Okay. I guess the decanter might get a little more air on it if it was a little bigger decanter or something, but fair price for a great pour on the Michter's. Nice. Which one? Is there one in particular? They're all very similar, so you wouldn't have a problem going between them, but I'm curious. What's a bourbon with more of a honey fruit berry that's not heavy on the baking spice? Perfectly fine with proof, heat, and oak notes. So honey fruit berry that's not heavy on the baking spice. I would say Buffalo Trace stuff, I don't get a ton of baking spice. So if you had a lot of Buffalo Trace stuff logged in. So like that honey fruit berry is what I'm looking for, right? That's the Weller stuff to me without a ton of the baking spice. But Buffalo Trace, Blanton's, E.H. Taylor, all the Weller stuff, like all of those seem to fit that description to me. But let me know if you've tried any of those. What's my cost for a 107? So the one I bought this week was like $50. 1920, yeah, Bob, that's my favorite. The only Penelope I have that I'm not sure if I like or not is the, I don't even know how to pronounce that, Tokachi. Being a rye, still I haven't had that one. What is Double Eagle Very Rare? No, Horses and Bourbon. I've got an Eagle Rare 17 up on the top shelf. That's 17-year-old Eagle Rare. What they did for the 20-year-old Eagle Rare, that's what it is. So Double Eagle, right? Eagle Rare is 10 years old. Double Eagle is twice that. It's 20 years old. But what they did is they release it in a very special, like, crystal decanter that has a hand-blown glass eagle on the inside and then a pewter eagle on the top stopper. So it has two eagles. So it is Double Eagle and it is double the age of Eagle Rare. So those, I think the MSRP on that may be $2 or $3 grand. And then on the secondary market, those can go for $20,000 plus. So I would have a very big moral dilemma if I were to get, like, if I won the lottery in the state of Alabama and I walked in there first and they had a $2,000 or $3,000 Double Eagle Rare, I would have to buy it if I had the extra change. I would have to. But then we would have a big dilemma as to whether or not we sell it and buy a whole barrel or build this channel or do some stuff, or whether or not I pop that sucker in a video and just have fun with it. Yeah, the Calumet 15 and 16 I have is pretty good there, Thomas. I haven't had Nelson Greenbrier. Hard to come by here. I haven't seen it yet. Stag Junior tonight, pretty sweet, really sweet. But I like the sweetness there, Blake. So, New Kirkland, haven't had. We don't have a Costco around here. Under $35 a wine. We just opened Evan Williams Single Barrel, and I would disagree that it is the best bottle under $35. It was good, but it was simple. I want proof and complexity, and so I don't think, like, at $35. $35. What could we get? Like, what's the best bottle that we can go get? Of course, I can't go get this one. So you can't say just a bottle you can go pick up, because these are not available anymore, these Evan Williams single barrels. So at $35, you're pushing, I mean, even like a Wild Turkey 101. We might have to try Wild Turkey 101 at $25. I can't think of a ton, but like, what's a good high proof whiskey like in that $35 range? So you don't have a bad argument. There's not a lot of like just exceptional like super high end $35 whiskeys. The ones that, even if you're talking about like stuff you can't get, they really start usually at around $40 or $50 for me. So I don't have 130 proof Bookers. I think mine's 120 something. Yeah. Ask Buffalo Trace why their logo has a bison on it. I think Buffalo Trace was a trail where the buffalo like traveled through or something like that. There's a story behind it. Don't have a bullet tin. The drop. State of Alabama has a whiskey drop every month where they drop their allocated stuff. You go wait in line. I do have several ryes that I like. So a Michter's barrel strength rye, Michter's rye. This Sagamore rye right here is actually really, really good. So I found quite a few ryes that I actually have been enjoying. Anita Parker's Heritage John, something bad. Like I had their Curacao finish just a try of it, but Smoke Wagon Uncut and Filtered Chaz I don't have. Smoke Wagon Small Batch was fine. I didn't find it exceptional, but Smoke Wagon is MGP, and most MGP barrel strength stuff I tend to like, so I'm sure I would like it. And when I'm in Vegas, I may try to find one and pick it up. So just to get, you're going to fly all the way there to get it. Well, go ahead and grab me one there, Kyle, and we'll work something out. But for Buffalo Trace, it's out a lot of places. You ought to be able to find it sooner or later, logged, if you keep looking. Good evening, Owen. Bird Dog Peach. I may do that. We've got a lot of peach flavored stuff. We might as well try them all. I had like the made from chocolate chip cookie whiskey. We did a video on it. It's on the channel. I haven't had chocolate chip cookie dough whiskey. This one was made from chocolate chip cookies though, but I think there's a cookie dough whiskey and we haven't had that one. Kirkland, made by, was it Barton, makes the 1792 stuff. Don't have any Stellum. Elijah Craig Michter's and Maker's Mark. So what do you like, Andy, out of those? Let me know what you like. I'll try to catch up and make sure I see your comment. So you've had those. Which ones of those do you like? Which ones do you not like? Kirkland's does have, like I said, Costco's just like 45 minutes away, so we don't have a membership. Yeah, Kath, I have an Eagle Rare 17 on the shelf up above me here. Pretty good. First drink, turning 21. So it's 21 years old. You haven't really drank a lot of high proof stuff. You're probably not going to love bourbon right off the bat, honestly. So if you try it, you don't love it, start with mixed drinks, start with beer, start with whatever you're into, right? Get an old fashioned, drink some margaritas, like whatever, drink some Fireball, mix some Crown Apple with Mountain Dew, like whatever you're into there. I would recommend you start with a low proof. So get you like an Old Forester 86 proof and try that. Try it neat. Try it over a little ice. Andrew, what's going on? I'm in Alabama. 114 is fantastic at that price, yeah. Was hopping off and say Wild Turkey 101. That's what I've been sipping on a lot of. Yeah, Early Times Bottle in Bond's good. The old Brown Foreman ones are better, though. Yeah, sell the Double Eagle. It would be a very big dilemma because I can't have whiskey I'm not going to open. But that's a lot of money. But God, would that be a big video? But it probably wouldn't be any bigger than we've gotten with some of these, lesser bottles. So that's, yeah. Eagle Rare 17. I haven't had the Sazerac 18. That's the only one I haven't tried. Best under 35. Yeah, that's what we were. Oh, Russell's 10 is $35. There you go. There you go. I don't think it's under 35 here. Like in Alabama. And that's why my prices are always off, because Alabama's always $5 or $10 more expensive than everybody on just about every bottle. And like the Jack Triple Mash, that's 40-something bucks here when I find it. So under 35, sure, but like everything's more expensive here. So like I'm paying like 25 plus bucks for Wild Turkey 101. Some folks can get it for under 20. Just can't get it. Just heard about the BTAC special releases coming out soon. Yeah, they release those yearly, even though the George T. Stagg wasn't in it last year. So I'm excited, but I'm just probably not going to get one. I've been lucky enough to get one the last couple of years, but I'm not real lucky when it comes to that. Ron Burgundy, man, I've been using those glasses you sent me a lot. They're my favorite glasses. I appreciate those. Or the plastic cups. The lawnmower still works, man. It took me about 3 hours to get it to run. But I got it working. It works just fine. I don't use it. I pay somebody to mow the grass because, I got other stuff to do, but they use my mower to mow the grass. Evan Williams Bottle and Bond is good. Let's see. I was looking for, what was the name here? I was looking for, trying to give him a recommendation on what he liked. And then I forgot what his username is. And I don't see his reply. So he may have already been gone. That's the problem with me reading the middle of the chat. So I'm just going to skip to the bottom. If I missed your question, I'm just going to start at the bottom again. So at least people aren't gone by the time I answer the question. Let's see. Drinking Powers 3 Swallow. I need to get a drink going. This was, for y'all that don't know, y'all weren't here. We had a little thing going for Super Chats. If we got over $100, we did a Coy Hill, Jack Daniel's Coy Hill, which is a $500 bottle, and Dr. Pepper. And it's actually really freaking good. Really good. But we were going to have 3 pours tonight. And we haven't opened this other bottle here, this Puncher's Chance. So apparently this is Michael Buffer. And I think Michael Buffer is the guy that says, let's get ready to... I can't say it because I think it's copyrighted. We may get copyright striked for just saying it on freaking YouTube. I don't know. But I think this is his whiskey. And I hear it's pretty good. Don't know. Brantley, B-Tag's out. That's pretty much what it is. It's all of it. And George T. Stagg they didn't have it last year. This year it's the highest proof it's ever been. So I assure you that bottle is going to be going for a mint on the secondary market. Eagle Rare MSRP is around $30 or so, I think, real. What's up, Keith? First bottle of blends. Wife surprised me with it. Still a bourbon newbie. That's awesome. Carmine, so what's the Rick number on it? Poco! We need to have a bourbon get-together. So, again, get in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, links in the bio over here on TikTok, and Nate just dropped it over on YouTube. I'm going to do some. It's going to be next year. We've got a lot going on. I'm trying to build the stream. We're trying to do barrel picks. Like, we have a lot more followers than we have structure and process in place at this point. So we're still learning and trying to just manage everything. Like, just try to reply to as many comments as we can and do all of that stuff. So we don't have the infrastructure or the process to really do everything, but we're going to do some sort of get together. And honestly, we may do some get togethers when I travel. So I'm going to go to Kentucky. We're going to go to different places. We may just have a bunch of bourbon folks get together at a bar somewhere and have a lunch or a dinner or something. But we're going to try to have some folks into Opelika. I'm trying to coordinate some stuff with John Emerald. John Emerald's a distiller here local that's about to do his first run of a bottled in bond whiskey. We're going to try to get a barrel of that. And so I'm trying to wait. He's got some new equipment coming in to up its production capability so he can do 53-gallon barrels. And so that was supposed to be here in December, and he's supposed to be up and distilling sometime late December with that equipment. So early next year sometime, we'll probably try to coordinate something here and have it at the distillery, and maybe we can circle it around getting a barrel from them. Maybe we can try the mash, try the White Dog. Maybe we may even see him distilling it or barreling that particular barrel. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But that's kind of what I'm trying to get that figured out early next year. Jim Beam's fine. Some of their limited stuff's good, like a Baker's 7 and stuff like that are fantastic. Booker's. Just, if it says Jim Beam on the label, it's not something I drink a lot. Midwinter Night's Dram. Nice. Favorites, Jefferson? Ocean Voyage 22. I'm an Auburn grad, Andrew. So, yeah, tough times in football land. Easy toasted and barrel proof, and make a toasted barrel proof. That sounds pretty good. Rumble, let's get ready to... What? Can't say it, Randall. Can't say it. Oh, it's going to be stupid expensive, horses and bourbon. Stupid expensive. Here in Columbia, we don't get that amount of fancy bourbon to enjoy. There is a lot of really good, affordable, regularly available bourbon. We all like to, talk about the fancy ones. I break them out because people are asking about them, and I enjoy them. But don't be too upset about it. If you'll come across some occasionally and whatever, but man, there's a lot of good $20 or $30 bottles. And we're going to be doing a lot more content around those because it's not all about exclusive bourbon. And a lot of the reviewers are about exclusive bourbon because they have connections and, distilleries send them stuff. And a lot of them have access to bourbon that most folks don't. I'm not one of those people. I have to wait in line. We do get some stuff sent to us, but not super rare stuff, like everyday stuff, small distillery stuff. So I have to go through the same stuff y'all have to go through to get it. Now, if you're in like Columbia, the country, that's probably going to be tough. But, there's still I'm sure there's still some good stuff you can get. So let me know what your selection is. Cryptic Shadow, thank you. I appreciate the kind words. In Mobile, nice. So would that be worth coming up a 4-hour drive to hang out in Opelika? What's up, Trey? Just thank you for the likes. Y'all keep pumping those likes for me. Poco, worst whiskey you've ever had. George Dickel stuff is just really, really off-putting, so it'd probably be one of those. The Detling stuff I'm not a huge fan of. Mostly like super malty stuff. So like that Woodford 5 malted stout, I didn't like that at all. So usually malt finished whiskey, like a Cabernet finish, like the Jefferson's Cabernet finish, I didn't like that stuff at all. So if it's got malt, if it's finished in like a wine barrel, not a port, but like a Cabernet or something like that, don't like those. And George Dickel. And some small distilleries that just don't make great whiskey yet. Good night, Chris. What time is it? Where are we up to? I'm a little off-centered on TikTok here. Let's see. Where I got to go to the right. I can't see the framing. I'm still working on the TikTok setup. I was trying to put some time into it today, but whew, it was a mess just trying to get live. It is 10 o'clock. We've only been going for 2 hours. That's awesome. But I've only had like 3 pours of a mixed drink in 2 hours. I'll take that. Four Roses barrel strength is, oh yeah, barrel strength single barrel is fantastic. If I could only recommend one bottle, it just depends, man. I want to recommend something you like, and everybody's tastes are different. I have a Black and Whiskey Geeks. We haven't opened it yet, but we're going to. We're going to open it here pretty soon. We're going to do a review of it. Yeah, I had a Bowman Brothers. We opened a Bowman Brothers on a stream last week. Pretty good stuff. Four Roses, yeah, Four Roses barrel strength's fantastic, and you would definitely head up. Okay. So how many people in the chat right now are close enough to Opelika, Alabama, where if we had a little one-day get-together, y'all would make the trip down for that? Let's get a head count here. Rough idea, if you were available, is that a trip you would make just to hang out for the day with other cool bourbon folks? Because we're doing all of this stuff for the first time. So we're doing our first barrel pick. So if you're interested in a barrel pick, make sure you're in the Discord, because we're about to go pick that sucker, and then it's going to be available in January. But that's scary, because that's 150 bottles. Do I have 100? We got a lot of followers, but we're still just building community. So subscribers are not necessarily in live. How do we reach them? Will they see the barrel pick? Because if I do a video about a barrel pick, it's not going to get 1 million views. So those things are scary. Having a meetup, I don't know to prepare. Are we going to have 4 people, 40 people, 400 people? I have no freaking clue how many people would show up to something like that. So it's just scary to plan, right? It just makes it kind of nerve-wracking because you don't really know. I haven't had Canadian Club. I'm going to try Snoop Dogg's wine for sure. We're doing a lot of celebrity stuff. And I'm going to try, I haven't tried Ammunition, but I will. I like Garrison Brothers, but it's intense. Weller Special Reserve, Antique 107 all day, not even close. They're completely different. So trade 1, 2, 3, 4, would try 5. Best I've ever had, William LaRue Weller. 6, Ohio's a long way, man. South Texas, I drive to South Texas a lot, but that is a long trip. In Dothan, a couple hours away. My son lives in Dothan. Will, who was over on YouTube, but he bailed on me. No go. Hey, I understand. Thanks for being honest. Would fly down for that? Poco's serious. I live 1.5 hours from Atlanta. I'm just an hour and a half from Atlanta, right across the Alabama state line down 85, man. We're basically in Auburn, right? For 35. Orange Beach in for a bourbon day. Nice. We should come to you. Not from Cleveland. I understand that. California, that's a really, really long way. Let's check YouTube. Austin Wood. So sorry about Detling. No, it's all good, man. I'm willing to try anything once. The Dickel Bottle and Bond, I still didn't like it. Dude, the store here has got 7 cases of it if you want one. Wisconsin and Florida a lot, so it just depends on the day, right? Come to Kentucky. I'm going to do a lot of Kentucky. We're going to do some Kentucky trips next year. So if you're in Discord, what I'm going to do when I start traveling places, we're going to try to make sure we have some time to visit with folks. And so I'm going to post in the Discord when I'm going and where I'm going next year. And then maybe we have little mini meetups in those areas as well where we just hang out. So something informal, everybody just kind of pay for their own meal, get together, have a meal, drink some bourbon kind of stuff, right? So probably not like some formal meetup at a venue unless they start getting big, and then we'll figure it out. Road trip from Texas. I make a road trip to Texas a lot. Indiana, West Coast. Coming from Michigan? Man, that would be awesome. Sell tickets to keep account who's coming. We may Poco, and we may make them super cheap. Maybe make them super cheap. So, and I'm going to go to some events. I'm thinking I'm going to try to make it to Whiskey Weekend in Nashville in March. I know Cheech, who does a lot of moderating for us on YouTube, is doing an event down in St. Augustine, Florida. So I'm going to try to head down. Detroit, nice. I tried to buy a Lincoln in Detroit a month or 2 ago. It didn't work out. Yeah, but selling tickets are good. Even if they're $1, right? You just kind of keep up with who. But you might make them just enough to where you don't buy them if you're not coming kind of thing, right? Wild Turkey Rare Breed. I love it for the price. It's fantastic. 2-hour drive, but worth it. Well, thank you, Wardam. I hear a lot of good things about Penelope Toasted. 3.5 for Panama City. Yeah, that's not too far. Logan would drive over from South Texas. Man, that's I appreciate the commitment. It's humbling, and it means a lot that y'all would come that far and put that much effort into just hanging out with me for the day. That's hard to believe, I'll be honest. Tennessee, nice. I like Tennessee a lot, the little bit of time I've spent there. I have not tried that shameless one. Kentucky, yeah. Just say first 75 to 100, but like, I just don't know. Would I realistically sell out 100 tickets to something? Like, there's probably been 30 or 40 folks in here say they would come. Zebulon, Georgia, Spring City, Tennessee, hold it at a casino. We don't have any casinos in Alabama. But like I said, we could have it at the distillery. That wouldn't hold 100, though. I'd have to figure something out. Just got on Discord. How's it going, Robbie? Are you having a good time over there? I mean, sometimes it's slow, but the more people we get in there, the more it'll be active 24/7. I've had to turn off notifications because we've got some international folks in there, and they're just like lighting it up in the middle of the night, and I love it. Love everything about it. I spend every extra minute I can over there on Discord right now, but, it's just busy times. Takes me a full day just to get up and out of the Florida Keys. Yeah, that's a long, long way, man. I understand that. I've driven to Miami a few times, never to the Keys, though, and that's a long day. I may come to PA at some point, seriously. I've got an employee up near, Philadelphia, I think. Bring you a bottle of the Responder. Also, just like I said, make sure you're in the Discord. I'll post when I head over there. Seth Kirk with the 5 proof channel membership. Man, again, the support has been incredible. 50 proof Trey. What did I miss? I don't know what live in Spring City, Tennessee. I don't know what you mean by 50 proof. Bardstown Discovery. Some of them are really good. The 8's really good. I don't have it yet, but I've had a taste of it. It was really good. The 7 I think I have this. I don't even know which one I have. I only have one over there, but it's pretty good stuff. Not something that I just love, but pretty good. I'd never even tried. I poured this. I don't even know if I drank it. I got so overwhelmed with all the support and the meetup that I forgot to drink the dang whiskey. That actually smells really good. Like, that has kind of a red fruit sweetness. Honestly, if you'd have just handed this to me, and I'd have sniffed it, I would have said that's a Buffalo Trace. 90 proof, so it's in that proof range. Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. Lord, I can't read this crap. It's on a black bottle. It's dark in here, and I can't use my light because I'm using it to check my framing on TikTok. So I don't know who makes this. Anybody who knows who makes Puncher's Chance, I'm assuming they source it from somewhere, but it smells very much like a Buffalo Trace, some kind of red fruit sweetness, a little oakiness. Okay, so the sweetness, it doesn't deliver the sweetness on the palate like a Buffalo Trace. That might be like a Barton. That might be like a 1792. Pretty good whiskey, though. I think I like this as much, if not better, than the Evan Williams single barrel. I don't know if I enjoy it more than the TX. It may depend on the day, though. May depend on the day. So this is not super complex. The mouthfeel is not really exceptional. I think that TX did a little better job in both of those. It has a little more, the TX has a little more complexity. And so it drank a little higher proof than this does. Even though I am getting some burn on that 90 proof. So overall, a pretty good whiskey. A little sharp, all kind of that one note, kind of that, it's kind of a single oaky sweetness to it. Not a bad whiskey at all, but I would probably lean toward that TX. But again, that's a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, so it's liable to be a little older than this. Although the Evan Williams is definitely older, it's lower proof and just simpler. So that Puncher's Chance is, for a celebrity whiskey, not bad. I don't know, we need to do them as our Brewzle review. I might go back and do like the Wolf Moon. I would say it's probably on that Wolf Moon level, maybe a touch above it. Maybe a touch above it. But both pretty good whiskeys, pretty simple. Nothing off-putting about them. This one has a little more oakiness than I remember on that Wolf Moon. But I just don't think it punches up with that TX. All right, Vincent, take it easy. Logan, pour that glass of Woodford. Came to Texas. I'd drive anywhere for a meetup. Well, I typically get out to Austin, Texas at least a couple of times a year. So, Logan, there's almost 100% chance I'll be in Austin, Texas at some point next year. So love to come up from the Alabama beaches. Heck, Brian, maybe I come down to you. Wisconsin's a long way, Walrus. I appreciate the thought. That's a long way. The restaurant whiskey cake? I have not, Randall. Where's that at? Yeah, Walrus, Blackened's going to happen here pretty soon. We're going to do that review. Yeah, I did come to Ports in the Park, and I'm going to come again if they have it. I'm going to drive to Lincoln this time. All about it. 3 hours, Fishing says. Nice. Shameless, I don't know anything about it. Shop Talk, I appreciate it. Would also to meet up in a space station? I'm not going out. I'm too fat to go to space, man. They're not going to send me to space. Why are you drink? Why are you misspelling? Why are you English not good? Spring City, Tennessee, all the way to Oregon. Lord, Trey. Bringing the heat. Goodwood is a beer. Okay. I haven't had it. Yes, we are getting a barrel, and we will be selling bottles. So, Just Rob, make sure you're in the Discord. Link is in the bio. We are going to pick the barrel the last week of this month, or next month. We're going to go pick it. So we're going to take supporters. So again, if you're a supporter, if you're a patron supporter, if you're a subscriber like Poco here is a live stream subscriber, if you are a channel member over on YouTube, make sure you're in the Discord. Make sure you ping me or Brewzle Will over there. Let's get you into the supporter channel. So we've got a special channel for supporters only, and we are going to allow you to throw your name in the hat if you can make it for that date. I mean, just be honest if you can make it, because we'll do a lot of these barrel picks, and we're going to rotate through. Like if you've done this one, we're not going to consider you for the next one until everybody's had a chance. And so we're going to allow you to throw your name in, and then we're probably going to pick it based on support level or something like that. And then if there's ties, we're going to be random. But I can only take 4 people with me to this tasting. So we're going to pick 4 people from our supporters, and then, based on like the support level, and then we will, allow them to go up there and pick the barrel with me. Like, that's what it's about. It's about the experience. The whiskey's fun, but going to pick it, even more fun. I want to share that with as many of y'all as I possibly can, because I've never done that. I've never been in a barrel pick. And so I would love to take people who have also never been in a barrel pick. I've been talking a lot, and I apologize. I am way freaking behind. Way behind. What's up, Ba? Let's see. Wolf Spirits. Haven't had that. What's the balance left to get to the Pappy? A ton. What did I say? Did I say 250? I think I said 250. And I think we're at like 120. I think we're at 120. So it's like $130 if I'm going to mix Pappy and Dr. Pepper. Like it's that. My wife is not a whiskey lover, but she is involved. She does like whiskey, and she's coming more and more into it. And she streamed with us on Monday. She streams with us occasionally. And I'm trying very hard to persuade her to be on every Monday live stream. So she'll be on the Monday stream. And then, then we'll have Wednesday where we're going to play games on Wednesday. And Monday we're going to, have a little more with her and do some fun stuff there. Wolf Spirit Distillery. Awesome. I haven't tried that. Hey, thank you, Nate. Appreciate it. Take it easy. Let's meet it still. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Miracle. And I might be able to call them and say, hey, we're going to do something there, film some videos. Maybe they'll give us a tour. That would be fun. Oh, Wolf Spirits makes Puncher's Chance. See, I'm an idiot. I don't know what they're saying. They just keep saying Wolf Spirit, who makes it. So that's who actually distills the spirit. It's pretty good whiskey. It's not bad. For somebody I've never heard, it's pretty good. Sip it on Pappy 12. The 12 is not super impressive to me because of the low proof, right? The 90 proof is not good. I prefer the 10-year over the 12. Although I think the 12 could be the best of the lot if it was 107 proof, but it's not. Ooh, Iron Bowl weekend. That's when I'm going. Well, I'm going to go during the week up there. They won't let me pick the thing on the weekend, so it's going to be during the week sometime for sure. Yeah. So Bob, baby, it's a boy. Is curious as to how much bourbon you consume per week in ounces. Not as much as you would think, honestly. I try not to drink when we're not on stream or creating content, just because normally if I wasn't creating content, I would drink like one night a week. Like on a Saturday, I would have a few drinks. That would be it. Maybe a Friday night, maybe a Saturday night, if it's football season or something like that. So when I start doing content, we pour, I don't know, on this stream we've had 3 pours and that, so we might have drank 6-7 ounces so that per stream. We might go a little harder. We might get 10 ounces in a stream, and then when I'm shooting videos, it's not a lot. Usually I just take a taste of whatever we're doing and I toss it, unless it's like really exceptionally good and I got to keep it around for a while. So not as much as you would think for somebody that creates bourbon content. But a lot of these videos, like we'll sit down in one day and film 4, 5, 6 shorts, and that'll get us through, 6 shorts and get us through a couple of weeks, and then we do a couple of long form the next week. So not as bad. I appreciate your concern, but it's not as bad as you would think. Bourbon bingo. So this is what I want to do. So this is what I want to do as far as games. What I want to do is I want to play a game called Who Wants to Be a Bourbon Heir, right? And so bourbon heir is an H-E-I-R, like inheriting bourbon. So that's what I want to do. That, like, I want to have questions and bring somebody on, video, bring them on video remotely, and allow them to play the game to win a bottle of whiskey. And so you start with a basic bottle. We're going to start with an Evan Williams bottle in bond, and then you can risk it for a Wild Turkey 101, and then you can risk it for, something like maybe it goes to a rare breed, and then maybe it goes to a Michter's, and then you start getting into like allocated stuff, right? Like maybe a Michter special release or Elijah Craig toasted barrel, and you work your way up to rarer and rarer bourbons as you go. But you've got to decide before you know the question to risk it, and then you have some lifelines and you do some fun stuff, and then you either win a bottle or you lose. Like if you risk it, you miss the next question, you lose it, right? Add some drama, have some fun. They can poll you guys and get an answer. Like we can do all sorts of fun stuff with that. But we are having to check into the legality of giving away whiskey. So like I can't create a video and link you to where to buy whiskey. That is against almost every single social media platform's terms of service. Like I just can't do that. So we are having to do research into, can we actually give one away? Like I don't even know. That's really gray. They don't specifically say. I think YouTube says, Facebook's like, no, you can't do that. But these other platforms are like, they don't really address that. And we had talked about having a whiskey sponsor, but the problem is like a whiskey sponsor. So with a whiskey sponsor, we can get a code and you can buy it for $1 or something, right? And that makes it all like super above board and legal. But like we can't say that sponsor's name because that's telling you where to buy whiskey, and that violates the terms of service. So it's really, really complicated to make anything in spirits work as far as giveaways and games if we want to stay above board. And I know there's a lot of people that are not staying above board right now, but we're trying to do it at scale. We have a few more eyeballs on us than most of those folks. And, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. And so the more eyeballs we have, the more likely it is that, something trips us up if we're not being completely above board. So we really want to, and honestly, we really want to be above board. I'm not trying to do anything shady or sketchy. So I don't really have an NFL team there, Sammy. Wolf Spirits, Puncher's Chance. I appreciate that. I haven't had Driftless. Glenn, what would you pay for an Eagle Rare 17? I don't know, CJ. If you were in the Discord, we could talk about that. I don't pay a ton of money for it. I'd pay more than MSRP, but way lower than secondary. I've got one, so my favorite Jeffersons, again, Ocean Voyage 22 is probably the favorite Jeffersons I own. The only I've got Mayor Pingree from Valentine Distillery that I got from the Bourbon Junkies thing. That was actually really good from Michigan. Oh, wow. Milwaukee is the hidden gem of the Midwest, though? Oh, yeah, yeah. I've got an employee from Milwaukee that loves it. So I think he lives in Austin, or not Austin. He lives in outside of Phoenix, Scottsdale, and he loves it. But he talks very fondly of it. 3-4 hours from here? Yeah, we'll figure that out. We'll do that next time I'm there. Again, be in the Discord. That's how you'll find out about it. Did pour the Woodford or the Wood Reserve. Wednesday nights are fun, Logan. I appreciate hanging out. So when I'm doing the barrel release, it's going to be a blend of different years. So it's going to be some 7 years, some 10 years, some 16 year, right? It's going to be a blend of different things, Seth, if that's what you're talking about, like the barrel store pick. Whiskey Cake is in Texas, Florida, so it's a chain. Awesome. Where at in Florida? I may have to check that out. Yeah, well, Seth, it's going to be a blend. So we're doing what I'm trying to recreate. Let me grab a bottle. So this is their barrel private release, and this is kind of what we're going for. This was a pick from Total Wine and More, and this one contains like 5-year, 11-year, 14-year, and 16-year bourbon. And it's freaking exceptional. This is an exceptional bottle of whiskey right here. It's got everything I'm looking for in a bottle of whiskey. So I'm like, this is what we want to use as a benchmark to try to find something that is unique for us but similar, right? NFL team. Don't really do NFL. I'm in Alabama. If you only sip here and there and you've got them opened, until they get super low, they'll be good for years. You'll be fine. Thanks for the roses there, Garen. You give away a box that may or may not contain whiskey. Again, that's skirting the rules, and we want to be above board. So might get away with it, but then you probably won't. I'm not a huge fan of Old Number 7 unless we're mixing it as far as Jack Daniels goes, but all their other stuff is fantastic. I don't drink a lot of Willett. Pot Still's not my jam, but the Willett Family Estate stuff is fantastic. I just can't find enough of it. Like, I've never had a purple top. Every time, I take opinions on Scotch. I don't drink a lot of Scotch. So I try not to give my opinion on Scotch. So if we do a Scotch video, I'm not going to like it. So I'm not trying to sway people to not try Scotch, because I want you to try everything, because then your taste may be different. You may love it. And I don't want to be the guy that, keeps you from trying Scotch for 10 years because I said it sucks. So we'll do some Scotch videos, but we're just going to have fun with it, right? Just I don't expect to like it. Poco says if we could pull enough people, you can get more than one sponsor. Atlantic City would be a great place. That's like, if we have one here and we get 100 people, it's like, okay, now maybe we need to have a thing somewhere, right? Like, maybe we need to go find a venue next time we do it and do something bigger. Like, maybe we go down to the beach and do it. Maybe we go down to Biloxi and do it. Maybe, Atlantic City is a good ways for me, but I'm down with trying that, right? Calumet 15, pretty good opening. I like the 16 better, but the 15 is good. Haven't had the Duke. Horses of Bourbon. Logan, a little off topic. I'm looking to get a bottle to celebrate. Yeah, that's actually a good one. Horses of Bourbon made a good suggestion. So Calumet 16 would be good. You can get those on the regular. They're going up in price. They're like 160, 180 bucks now, though. But I think that's a really, really good bottle. If you're looking for something a little more maybe available and a little more budget conscious, that Barrel Vantage we just reviewed is actually a really, really good bottle. Yeah, Randall, I agree. Like, we could do like escalating t-shirts and things, swag, because we've got some really cool t-shirts on the Brewzle site. We don't do a good job. We don't sell any of them hardly because we don't promote them. We need to. But there's just not the drama in that of you working your way up to win a Michter's barrel strength rye, or maybe hell, we may, if we could find a sponsor, or if the streams were big enough, like if we had 1,000 people on the stream, we might could give away a Pappy's, right? Like you might could work your way up to a Pappy's or a BTAC or something crazy like that. If we could scale it and get more people in here, we could do something really fun with that. And that would just add so much fun and drama. Could you imagine having somebody sitting here, they've got a multiple choice 4-answer question. All they've got to do is guess the right one to win a 15-year-old Pappy Van Winkle or a 23-year-old Pappy Van Winkle that they've never had, they've never seen, they've never come close to having, they can't find it or afford it in their entire life, but it's a hard question and they don't know the answer. Like, can you imagine how much fun that's going to be? God, I want that so bad. I want to do it. It's going to be so freaking fun. Walrus, yeah, you should be able to send me bottles. P.O. boxes in my bio, man. Send them along. Old Forester, Wally World was $16. That's stupid cheap. That's awesome. The store pick we're doing is from Barrel Craft Spirits. So the same company right here. Let me, I can zoom in on that bottle so y'all can see it a little better. Right there. Barrel Craft Spirits. And we're going to recreate something similar. Like, this is what I said as the base, and then we'll kind of go off of that, right? And so what they're going to do is they're going to give us like 8 different barrels to choose from, or 8 different blends to choose from, and we're going to pick the one we like the most, and then we're going to release it. Whiskey Cake in Plano, Texas. Nice. I haven't had Tin Cup in a long time. User, Discord, link in the bio. There's a link tree. Join it right there. So that's where a lot of the fun off the stream happens. That's where we're communicating. That's where we're trying to build a community, right? So that's where we're talking to folks. If we're going to have meetups and we're trying to sell bottles, because I can't link you to bottles on these social platforms because they get mad. This will be unfinished. I'm not a big finished whiskey fan, so it'll be a blend of different whiskeys, but it's going to be a blend, should be a blend of different unfinished whiskeys unless they sneak something in that's exceptional. Don't really drink Lagavulin. Basil Hayden Toast, I haven't had it, so I can't give you an opinion. I'm not a huge Basil Hayden fan. Like, it's fine, but it's not great. Scotch all tastes like Band-Aids to me. I'm with you. Chrissy in the chat, what's going on? Thanks for joining. Hey, better late than never. Appreciate it. Just bought a couple of t-shirts from the website. Thanks, Channel JZ. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Every dollar goes right back into trying to continue to grow this channel and see if we can scale it and do fun stuff. We want to do merch just for supporters. Like, I'm seeing what the Bourbon Junkies are doing. We're talking to a local distiller about maybe having our own brand and then having our supporters be able to vote on mash bills and different stuff, and then we can contract him to distill them and he'll age them in a warehouse. And if we could get this channel to where it's big enough, like, I live in a low cost, like, this is my vision. This is my vision for where I would love to go. At some point, if I can get this to be full-time and to have the revenue, we want to do barrel picks every month at least, right? Maybe multiple ones. And then we're going to go from there, and we're going to have supporters be able to vote on different mash bills and experiments and finishes and different stuff. And we're going to have those contract distilled, and we're going to age them in their warehouse. Eventually, we're going to buy our own warehouse, and that would be a venue where we could have people over. We could, try the different barrels and do all the stuff, get fully licensed to sell retail so that we can run our own barrel picks and stuff. And then there's like a local motel here. I'd love to build that and refurbish that into like Airbnbs for people to come stay and build a nice bourbon bar there and stuff for supporters. Like, it would just, like, we have so many freaking crazy ideas that just honestly, it takes millions of dollars. So we've got to have scale. We got to get views on the videos. We've got to get these live streams up to thousands of viewers to be able to afford that. And have fun and just share it. Like, I just want to share it with everybody. 2 of the 4 Roses down. Pretty good. Yeah, 4 Roses is great. Scotch is for sure an acquired taste. Yeah. Is barrel worth the money? Depends on which one. So, like, this store pick right here, I'd pay $150 for another one of those, no problem. I don't know what it costs. Somebody gave me this bottle. Barrel Vantage that they just released is finished whiskey, but it's finished in oak. It's not like, wine finished. Actually really good. I think they're like $75, $80. Really, really good bottle for $75 or $80. Now, some of their other stuff, maybe not. I can't speak for all of their releases because some of them are good, some of them are not good. I mean, I haven't had anything that's bad, but some of them are just not worth the money. A lot of folks love the Seagrass and, some of those releases, but I haven't drank enough of them to know. I'm not a huge fan of rye, but I'm starting to find some I really like. So if you're into rye, like this guy right here has been my jam. This Sagamore rye right here. I've been enjoying this one since I picked it up for sure. Michter's rye is really, really good stuff. Fashionably late. Exactly. If you can find an Elijah Craig barrel proof B520, yeah, that's a banger and it's around here pretty regular right now. Can you sell small tasting kits we could try on the stream? You talking about for like the barrel pick? You know, for the barrel pick, probably not. Like if we were distilling our own and doing some fun stuff, yes, we probably could, right? So what we could do is like if we got to that scale to where we were having our own, we could like sell sample kits, or we could have a membership to where we send you barrels, you taste and vote on whether or not we keep them or we don't keep them. Or we could do whole barrels, and then we could just have like a bourbon of the month club of something we created. Like once we have them aged, like there's all sorts of fun stuff we can do. Where everybody voted on, you know, this is the corn, this is the mash bill, this is the yeast strain, this is the char level on the barrel. Are we finishing it? Are we not finishing it? And then it ages for 2, 3, 4 years, and then it comes out and, you know, we send those bottles out. Like we could do fun stuff like that. It's going to take a while to build that up, but after you get a couple of years into it, you've got product constantly rolling out. Right now, it kind of sucks because it's like, okay, we're going to make a barrel and we're going to have to wait 4 years for a bottle and bond product to come out. Kind of sucks. But once it's going, it's going to be a lot of freaking fun. Best bourbon under $30. Wild Turkey 101, Evan Williams Bottle and Bond, and some of this benchmark stuff. Now, I'm talking about stuff you can go get, right? So, like Buffalo Trace hard to get, Eagle Rare is hard to get. So some of the not Benchmark 8, but some of the like Benchmark Bonded, Benchmark Top Shelf Small Batch, Wild Turkey 101, Evan Williams Bottle and Bond. It'd have to be one of those, I think. 15 year at 130? Yeah, that's not too bad. 130 is not too bad for a Calumet 15. I like Woodford, but I prefer like the double oaked or some of their limited stuff. Yeah, 72. That's exactly right. So realistically, this is, and I don't know if y'all want to talk content. I know y'all are here to talk bourbon, and honestly, me talking content may just run folks off. Like that may just lower. That may literally go against what I'm trying to, what I'm going to say here. But so let me know if y'all don't want to talk content. But honestly, if you don't want to talk content, then you're probably just going to be an asshole for saying no in the chat at this point. But, you know, we're with content, and I just try to be transparent. We just want to be transparent, right? So when you see us doing something stupid, you understand there's a reason behind every stupid thing we try to do. With live streams, if we're going to grow the live stream, the most important thing we can do right now to grow these live streams is two things. One, promote them better. Actually, it's really three things. One, promote them better. And we're going to work on that. We're going to try to promote them via video. TikTok gives us a few things to use. YouTube, a little iffy, but we'll try to promote them via YouTube. Joining the Discord, like getting more people in the Discord, that helps us promote it because we can tag, and promote it in there, and that gets more people in here. Two is having more interesting formats and topics, right? So if it's something people want to click on, then you get more people to click on it because only a small percentage of people that see a live stream is going to jump in it based on whatever we're talking about. And then the third thing, and probably as important as any of them, is increasing the average view duration. So right now on YouTube and TikTok, folks watch for 10 minutes or so and then they bounce on average. Now we've got some long haulers that watch for for hours, but that means average folks may be coming for 5 or 6 minutes, but the average is out to about 10 minutes. So if we could increase that to 20, 25 minutes, these streams would just explode. And so I think doing formats and playing games and adding a little drama and a little more interest, rather than me just sitting here and answering questions and telling 7 times in a live stream what I think about Angel's Envy or Woodford Reserve, probably would be more interesting to get people to watch a little longer. Now, we'll have unstructured segments. I like answering questions and talking about stuff, so we'll probably continue to have segments, but I'm thinking a variety show, right? We come in for an hour, we open a new bottle, we talk, we hang out, we have a good time, and then we get into a game or a game show type of format, and then maybe at the end we unwind with a little unstructured where I just answer questions again or something, right? So we'll figure that out, but maybe we're looking at news and other people's videos and we react, and we're just trying to make it better and more entertaining, right? Nothing wrong with Benchmark 8. I just wouldn't make my best of list. Best Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel or the 18? Seth B is pretty good. Let's see, what did I miss here? Appreciate it, Coleman. Appreciate it. We got a lot of ideas, but we are way behind on having the money for it. Way freaking behind. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Like, we just got monetized on YouTube. We don't really make hardly anything on TikTok at this point. But, you know, YouTube's monetization next year will help. Long-form videos. So if you see our long-form videos on YouTube, watching those all the way to the end helps us a tremendous amount. Like, that's probably, you know, hanging out in these live streams for long durations and watching the long YouTube videos is probably the thing you could do to help us the most right now if you want to do that. And that doesn't cost you anything. So odd how Buffalo Trace is hard to get in some place. Yeah, it's pretty available here. It'd be fun to play with mixing common bourbons to create some unique. Indian. We're actually filming some content right now to do that for sure. And we may try to figure out how to add that into a live stream format. So Evan Williams Green and Turkey 101 is where I exist in between. That's a good place to exist. Favorite drink, if I'm just talking about a mixed drink, is an old fashioned. Is waiting for Russell. So Crown My Apple brings up, was waiting for Russell's 13 worth it. And that goes back to understanding what we're trying to do here, right? So what we're trying to do is I'm not trying to necessarily create a commentary on the state of the bourbon industry. What I'm trying to do is just show you the state of the bourbon industry. I'm trying to show you what some of these bottles go for. I'm trying to show you what some people go through to obtain these bottles. That's the first time I've ever waited that long for a bottle ever. Like, that's the first time I've ever waited overnight for a bottle, much less 2 nights for a bottle of whiskey. But it was fun. I was trapped in the house. I thought it'd be a good time, be a fun video, so I did it, right, for the experience. And I actually had a good time. I really enjoyed myself. No, the bottle's not worth it, but that's literally why we did the next video where I took the other bottle. I got the Russell's 13 and the Weller Full Proof, and we got a ton of hate on that video. But that's just showing, like the bourbon industry or the fans of bourbon on these social platforms take their lives and whiskey so freaking seriously. Like, it's just insane how much of their self-worth is tied up in the value of the whiskey, or how easy they access it, or how much they just hate the taters, and they're just like, they're cool and sophisticated and smarter than the rest of us because they're just drinking stuff they can get off the shelf, and they're not putting all this effort into all of these super overhyped whiskeys. Or they've got connections and they can go down to the store and pick it up anytime they want because their buddy owns a liquor store, right? But like, I'm not hating on that. If you live that life, that's wonderful for you. Like, I think there's a ton of good whiskey out there. But I'm just trying to show how it is, right? I'm just trying to peel back the layer and show, in my opinion, or in my ecosystem, like where I am, what it takes to get a good bottle of whiskey that most of these people want. So we got a ton of hate on that video. So the next video, I took one of those bottles because the hate was, that's dumb. Like, you could have just got a job at McDonald's and made enough money to buy that bottle in secondary. Okay, well, I'm self-employed. I had been working for 8 days straight, and I worked from the parking lot. Not valid, right? Not a valid criticism. So dumb criticism, come with something better. So the second criticism was, you're a tater. I am a tater, so fair enough. Not a great criticism, come with something better. The next one was, the bottle is not worth it. But I agree with that. I never said the bottle was worth it. It's not worth it. I like that bottle. I don't even love it. Like, I like it. I don't love it. So, not worth it. And that's literally why we just poured the Weller in a lawnmower. And Weller's one of my favorite bottles. Like, I do love that bottle. Poured it in a lawnmower because it's like, it's not about the bottles, man. It's not about the bottles. It's not about the time. It's about the people. Whiskey is about the people. It's not about, can I have a Pappy's? It's about, can I experience a really nice bourbon with somebody? And the rarer it is, the more prestige it has, the more special that moment is for people that you're sharing it with, right? That they understand that that bottle's hard to get, or that it costs a lot of money, and that this is kind of a once in a very rare opportunity for them to enjoy that whiskey. And when you're waiting in line, it's about hanging out with other cool bourbon folks that want to put in the time and effort to try to have a nice bottle. And so I camped out with, 5 or 6 really, really cool folks, some of them that I consider friends at this point. And we shared some nice whiskey. We just hung out and had a good time. Took my wife with me. And so, yes, it was absolutely worth what it took to get that bottles of Russell Reserve 13 plus some. So I'll get off my soapbox at this point. I know I probably ran off half the chat at this point. So, Seth, I appreciate the hearts there. Let me catch up. What for the 3 people that made it through that rant? Appreciate it, Logan. Yeah, I get down there from time to time. I'll, like I said, be in the Discord. I'll let you know. Chrissy with the $20 super chats. Got the lights flashing for the super chat. What bottles are you looking for this fall? All of them. Like, I love a BTAC. I need the freaking birthday bourbon. I just got the Coy Hill, which we were mixing with Dr. Pepper earlier. That's a long story. I need I still want an Old Fitz 13. That's not like a limited release this fall. I'm looking for a Sazerac 18, obviously, because I've never had one. But just anything that's interesting that I don't have. Like, I'm always just trying to experience new things. So stuff that I just don't have is really, really fun. I'm trying to get one of those King Ranch that just released. That would be fun. So lots of good bottles. I'm in Opelika, Alabama there, Jack. Jack with honey's not bad. I prefer the American honey from Wild Turkey, but not bad. How do you comment and ask questions on YouTube? We're on the live stream right now, big dog. You ought to be able to jump over there and ask in the chat. If you got comments outside of a video, Discord's a better way to get an answer. We get a ton of comments, and we try to reply to as many, but God, it's hard to get. Like, after the first day, we kind of have to give up and move on because now we got a new video that's getting a bunch of them. What was good with Dr. Pepper? The Coy Hill, Jack Daniel's Coy Hill. So like $500 bottle. We said if we got to $100 in super chats, we would mix it, and we said $250 we would mix Pappy, but we're still only like 130, so I don't think we got a risk of making it to $250. I like the limited Woodford stuff, Woodford Double Oak. Normal Woodford's not something I drink a lot of. I'm going to try the Red Stag. I haven't yet. Smoke Wagon, it's just MGP stuff. So I haven't had the uncut, unfiltered, but I bet it's going to be good. Small batch is just fine. And again, YouTube, I apologize. Logan turned in on me. I appreciate you hanging out for me, Logan, even though you're probably gone by now. Bourbon Advent is always a crowd favorite. Makes it more interactive. Nice. And we were talking about some ideas there, Chrissy, to try to make it better and, more interesting. Like, that's all we want to do is try to make a better, more entertaining stream. So, looks like Brewzle Wheels back in the chat. If anybody's become a member, if you're a live stream subscriber on TikTok, or if you're a channel member over on YouTube, make sure you're in the Discord. Link is in the bio on TikTok, and we've been dropping it. Will's dropping it over there so we can get you in that special group for supporters. I haven't tried Crown Caramel yet. I think that's the only one we haven't done. I love weeded bourbons. That's my thing there, Jack. Everclear goes in the mower. I bet Everclear would run it. I'll be honest. I bet it would. We weren't trying to really start the mower with the Weller. That's what's funny. That video got so many views, it got beyond its scope. Like, that was just a reply to the hate on the Russell's Reserve 13 video. I did expect it to try to start. I didn't really expect it to run. Yep, it's the memory. It's the event. It's sharing it with folks. It's hanging out. It's having a good time. Like Angel's Envy's port finished. I'm not a huge port finish fan, but as far as port finishes go, Angel's Envy's probably my favorite. It's easy, it's smooth, it goes down, without much fuss. Woodford, double oaked, their limited stuff, fantastic. Normal Woodford is just fine. Oh, Coy Hill's good, and it's even better with. Well, it's not better. I'm sorry. I'll take that back. It's just as good with Dr. Pepper. Oh, got a Gatsby Remus. Nice. I haven't tried those. Appreciate it, Smokey. Joe, for me, it's finding a rare bottle at MSRP. Any goober can spend. Yeah, but it's a lot of time. But it's like, if you have the time, I work from home. Y'all, I don't think y'all realize I work over there in that room, which we're going to redo that room. I'm going to move this whole stream in there because this takes up half my freaking downstairs. Like, it divides my house into 2 sections. So we're going to move the stream in there. It'd probably be early to mid next year before I do it. It's going to look very similar, but we're going to move it in there. I'll have more bottle storage and stuff like that. You know, it's like all I do is work here. I stay here. I come here. I create videos. We shoot videos right here. I work, 50, 60 hours a week in that room in there. And then, that's pretty much my life. I'm spending 40 to 60 hours there. I spend, 15, 20 hours a week creating content and live streaming with y'all. Probably more than that because we stream like 8 hours. And then I go upstairs and I tinker on my cars on the weekends. I never leave the freaking house. So just getting out of the house to wait overnight or wait a day for some bourbons, just dang, that's awesome. I just like getting out of the freaking house. Oh, that double oaked is good stuff there, Pickle. Bullet Rye is your favorite? Nice. I haven't tried that. I'll have to do it. We were talking about El Martili earlier. It's not my fave. For the hype, it's a fine bottle. It's not worth the hype. Struggle finding stuff in store. My location makes it hard. That does. Yeah. Well, Chrissy, we made the goal for the super chats, and dang it if they didn't come through to make me do it. But it was actually really, really good. Edit podcast for the day job. Yes, we'll talk about it. I've talked about doing a podcast. I talked to Cheech, who's oftentimes in here moderating these, about possibly doing a podcast. So we probably will at some point. Right now, we just don't have the time to put the effort into it. I'm trying to get the video. We're working on long form videos, putting a ton of effort into improving those because we don't want those as good as everybody else's. I want them better than everybody else's. We want our reviews to be the best reviews. We want them to be the most fun, the most concise. Most of the content creators are kind of slow paced, and some of them are really fun. Some of them are really good. But we want ours to be a little punchier. And so we're putting a lot of effort into long form videos. And then we're putting a lot of effort into this live stream. We just got some access on TikTok that really allows us to take it up. So we're putting that effort in. Once all of the dust settles on that, maybe end of next year sometime, we might actually consider doing a podcast. The best looking bottle are the Old Fitz decanter bottles, Keith. So the Old Fitz Bottle and Bond decanter bottles are the best looking ones. Yeah, Chrissy, if you want to send me things, P.O. Box should be in my bio on YouTube and on TikTok now. Best affordable whiskey, Evan Williams Bottle and Bond here at $17. Fantastic stuff. Four Roses. I like Four Roses. Single barrel Four Roses is good. It's going to be in my best beginner whiskey video that comes out on YouTube this week. That probably won't be on TikTok. We got to figure out how to make a video that big into shorts, and I'll try, but we're going to have to refilm it, so it might be a few weeks. Four Roses single barrel strength is fantastic, and their limited release is really, really good. Jack, as in question mark, I don't understand. Thanks, Garen, for the roses. The wheated, okay. I got you. Decently priced wheater, there's not any that I really love at decently priced. So the Weller stuff, Weller Antique 107, the Larceny barrel strength stuff is wheated, and that's actually really good if you can find it. How did the name Brewzle come about? That's a long story. Again, I'm gonna miss some questions trying to answer that. Okay, so this was pre-iPhone. So when was that? 14 years ago? Well, iPhone was 2008. So it's pre-iPhone. We had talked about doing a website where, and I say we, so craft beer movement was really starting to take off. And I had an employee that was really into craft beer. And I wasn't super into craft beer. And so he was trying to get me introduced to beer and stuff. And we said, what would be cool is if we did a website where you could go in, you could sign in on your phone. Actually it wasn't phone. You just go in on your desktop, and then you could choose beers, and then it would give you recommendations as to whether or not it thought you would like that beer. And we're like, that'd be fun. Didn't really happen. Then the iPhone came out, and we're like, well, this would be awesome as an app or something you could pull up on your phone, because you could literally be sitting in the grocery store and maybe look at a beer and look it up, and then you've given it reviews, and so it knows you like brown ales at this proof with this flavor profile, and it finds people, you've liked this beer, and it finds other people that have liked that beer, and what have they thought of this beer you're looking at, and it gives you like a scale of whether or not it thinks you would like it and a confidence it has in that recommendation. And so we were looking for branding of that app and thinking it through, and Brewzle is what we came up with. And so I had the domain, I designed the logo, like we did the whole thing, me and the employee went through and did the whole thing, and we were kind of starting on the app, and Untapped came out. And a couple of other apps came out, and we're like, they're farther ahead. We don't have a lot of time to spend on it, so I just kind of shelved the name. And then I was talking to like a local brewery about doing a possible like brewery management system. So I considered reusing it for that, but that project fell through, and we ended up not going through because there's just no budget to build that. So I've just been sitting on the name for like 14 years or so, 12 or 14 years. So when we started doing content, it's like, well, it's got to be alcohol themed. We really planned on doing a lot of beer reviews, some food stuff, and we might move into some of that at some point in the future. But I had the name. I liked the logo. I was like, freaking, let's get some use out of it. So long story, but there it is. Ever have any George D. Barrel Pick? I have not. No. Haven't tried Sky Moonshine or Brothers Bond. The Meatloaf? Okay. Oh, yeah, Meatloaf. I was like, what in the world? Wild Turkey Masters Blend? I don't know about Wild Turkey Masters Blend. I haven't tried that. I haven't had it. If you got one, I'd love it. Haven't had Nelson. Angels Envy Rye, haven't had it. Jep the Creek, haven't. IW Harbor, y'all hit me with a bunch of them I don't know. Best whiskey you get started. That video is literally coming out on Friday on YouTube. So subscribe over there. YouTube.com/Brewzle. I like 1856 Uncle Nearest. It's not my favorite. It's not great, but it's decent. Van Winkle's fantastic, not worth the price. Buffalo Trace Kosher Wheat is a decent price one. Yeah, but I can't find it. Yeah, but that is actually a really good wheater, but I'd never even seen a bottle on a shelf ever. Never. Stolen Wolf, haven't. Appreciate it, Randall. Thanks for hanging out. What time is it? We're up to like 10:48. We're going to go about 10 more minutes or so. Should vlog you moving behind the scenes, setting up a whiskey bar? Yeah, well, we're gonna do a lot. We're doing a lot more vlogging around finding whiskey. So we've got one coming out from the drop this past weekend. So we're gonna try to do at least one vlog a month of whiskey hunting and stuff. And then we're gonna maybe start like setting up the studio and doing stuff like that. We might start trying to put some of those together as well, because I'm trying to build like the ultimate bourbon content studio in there. And we've got a lot of cool equipment, so we might share that a little more. Thanks for the suggestion. Pronouncing your name right? Hey, I'm just glad I got it right. Georgian whiskey lover. Nice. Thanks for the rose. Yeah, again, Van Winkle's good, but way too expensive. I don't really smoke a lot of cigars there, CJ, just because it's just not a habit I've taken up. I smoke normally if I'm hanging out with other people, but not something I do on my own a whole bunch. Yeah, 59 plus tax for that'd be an awesome. Like, just go ahead and pick me one up. You find one for $59. They're just not here at all, and I'm pretty sure they'll be in the lottery, but I don't know if there'll be any left. Haven't had the Decadence Widow Jane. Reuben Weller's my jam. Like 107, I drink as much of that as anything. I did not get my Arby's bourbon, so if anybody here gets access to the Arby's bourbon release, I would love access to a bottle of that. That's really high on my list, which is crazy with all the limited stuff. I'm looking for a freaking Arby's bourbon, but I could probably get 1 million views on that. So I really want a bottle. Kraken is a bad time for me, man. I'm gonna be honest. Like, that's every story that, I say this a lot in the live stream, but every story that ends with me almost going to jail or dying starts with tequila or rum, and usually the Kraken. Food and bourbon pair. Yeah, we might do some content around that, but we've got a lot of folks that are like, What if you marinated a steak in bourbon? And what if you marinated it in Fireball? And that may be where we kind of try to start. Because I don't think I'm like, how do I put this? Like, just give me a good bourbon, give me some good food. Like, it doesn't have to, like, I don't know. There are probably better pairings, but I'm not like particular enough to care about pairing. I want a good whiskey. I want some good food. Like, they don't have to be like balanced. Weller Foolproof. I've got half a bottle up there. I got half a bottle of Weller Foolproof left, and that may be less than a half. I had like 4, and then I poured one in a lawnmower, and then I gave one away, and then a buddy wanted one, then I traded. Well, we can't talk about those things. I got rid of another one, so haven't tried off hours, no. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate it. Partner with Guga, that would be awesome. I need to get a little bigger. Like Guga's, that dude's killing it, man. He's got like a whole thing going on. To do those types of collabs, we're going to have to, first of all, we're going to have to get bigger on long form videos, not just shorts, to try to do something like that. But that would be, I love his content. Haven't had Monkey Shoulder. How was that Mountain Dew Crown Apple? It was actually really good. Like, I was honest, and I really liked it. It tastes like apple juice. Like, I could see myself consuming some of that. Not a huge Shine fan, pickle, but I'm gonna try some on the channel because I think really I may have just had bad moonshine. I've had a little bit of it, but I think it was all just like turbo yeast, cheap, fast, bad moonshine. Haven't had Goodwood, a good college drink. I mean, just have cheap college drink. Have some Fireball. There you go. That's a good college drink. Some American honey from Wild Turkey. Have a good time, man. I ain't judging. Under $100. Go get a Penelope Barrel Strength. Under $100. That's something you could probably find in most places. Give it a try. Let me know what you think about it. Four Roses Small Batch is my beach whiskey. That's what I drink a lot of that when I go down to the beach. Just because their liquor stores normally have it, so I can pick it up, and I know it's solid stuff. Yes, yeah, I would pay $1.50 for a Weller Foolproof if I didn't have one, but that's probably like pushing my limit. Is it worth that? That's a good debate. I don't know about that, but just with the rarity, like that bottle goes for $4.50 on secondary. I'm not paying that for it. That's nuts. But I might drop $1.50 on it if I just really needed one. Unless Guga's a major bourbon drinker, yeah, probably not. But you never can tell. If you get views, he might be willing to marinate it in bourbon or make a bourbon barbecue sauce. But honestly, he don't need me. Like, he don't need me. So the Oceans depends on the voyage. 17 I didn't like at all. 22 I liked a lot. So just depends. Bullet's good. I don't have any right now though. It's been a while. Oh, Pickleback. Lord Corey. Okay, so this is on my Will, who's in the chat here. I think that's the drink he had me filming this week. So I think I'm going to try that for the first time in my life this week. I'm not excited about it. Should I be? Should I be excited? Is this a good thing? I feel like this is not a good thing. Yeah, Levin, Woodford Double Oaked is fantastic. Got to try some good Shine. I'll do that. What brands do you recommend? Never seen Penelope. Don't believe it comes to Indiana. Well, you're in freaking Indiana. Go find a good MGP barrel strength store pick. There's some really good ones out there. Gentleman Jack is, I mean, you might get like, honestly, see, if somebody's making fun of you for drinking Gentleman Jack, you just need better friends. Because they're just being dumb. There are probably better bottles out there for that price point, but it's not bad. Yes, Van Winkle is overpriced. It is one of the best whiskeys you'll ever have, and it's overpriced. It can be both. Just got off work. What should I have? $291. I don't know what $291 is, but the 1792 Foolproof's pretty solid. Started it with an old fashioned, Zachary. Nice. JD Tennessee Fire's better than Fire. I haven't had that yet, Keith. I may need to. Yeah, when Weller drops a $50 bottle, but you have to like show up and wait hours and hours and hours and hours for it. I need one, so I'd probably splurge a little bit for it just because I can't. Now I'm just trying to nurse that one. I don't drink Glenfiddich. I just couldn't tell you. I've had it, but it's been a long time. Is it better than Oh, you talking to Will there. I haven't had Watershed. Tennessee Fire and Dr. Pepper's your jam. Nice. Did the Bourbon Trail. I'm going to try to do them next year. I just haven't. Good Shine isn't sold on shelves. I understand that. I'm in Alabama. I ought to be able to find it, though. But I don't know good sources. So Jim Beam Double Barrel Aged. I'll do that. Thanks for the suggestion. Homemade. Well, we've made some here, but it was turbo yeast, just like playing around kind of stuff. Can't be that much hype for fit. Yeah, it's not worth that. It's not worth it. It's good though. Oh, so good. But at $1,500, and that's just like at that point, that's just like the 12-year now. That's just like the lot B for $1,500. The freaking 15-year-old is, 2+ around here if you find it on secondary. Yeah, Whiskey Acres. Somebody gave me a bottle of Whiskey Acres. It's been a while since I've had it, but I do have it over there. It was tasting really young. Now, all I've had is the neck pour, but it was really young. It had some interesting complexity to it. It had potential, but it did have some youngness to it. But, it was interesting. Favorite mixers, barrel strength rye or the toasted barrel straight bourbon whiskey? I mean, I'm pumped about it, but I've never, realistically, Ryan, I'm not going to see one. So, yeah, I'd love to have a BTAC. I mean, Jesus, that George T. Stagg at that proof is going to be incredible. I will take as many William LaRue Wellers as I can get for selling one kidney because I need the other kidney. That's the only reason I wouldn't buy more of them. But I just can't. I can't find them at a price I'm comfortable with. The only Blue Note I've had has been tampered with, like it was a honey barrel somebody did. So I don't want to judge it on that. So I don't know. Cinnamon whiskey is the devil. Foosball is the devil. Pickleback. Okay. So that's what Pickleback. That was the last thing I remember from a long night at St. Patty's Day. So are you saying, Randall, I should stay away from it? Should I stay away from it? Yeah, I haven't tried Watershed. If you like pickles, I mean, I like pickles. I don't drink pickles. Yeah, Carter, it's all over the place. Imagine if you had two of them. Like, I got a whole TikTok chat and a YouTube chat going on at the same time, and I'm trying to keep up. So I do the best I can. I apologize if I don't get to everybody. Will's out. I think I'm out, too. I think I'm going to call it tonight. I appreciate everybody hanging out. This was a fun stream. We will not be live next week because I am going to be in Las Vegas for SEMA. So we're going to be out there for that conference all week. But the following week, we will be live on Monday and Wednesday at 8 o'clock. That's when we probably won't have a lot of changes for those streams that first week, but we're going to slowly start rolling in more changes. And as soon as I can figure out if some of my creative ideas are legal, we're going to start really trying to push this stream up. And I don't know what it's going to take. Ruben, if you want to know more about the barrel pig, jump in Discord. We'll talk about it. Jason, let me know. Let's talk about that because I'm going to get to Kentucky next year. We're going to do the trail. We're also doing a barrel pick with barrel craft spirits. I don't know if you use Discord there, but jump in that Discord if you can. Link is in the bio. That's the best place to ask questions, especially in between live streams. So appreciate it. Brevard, I'm going to go ahead and show that. He got filtered a little bit. Appreciate everybody hanging out. We will see all of y'all a week after next. And y'all stay in touch and catch up with y'all later.